Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Heard me, but I didn't hear me.
I didn't hear you.
Good morning. Welcome in. Jason Ross here. Bob Gerald back with us.
Greetings.
You braved another early morning. This is out of your comfort zone.
This is out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining at all. This is what most regular people do.
Yes.
I can suck
do
it
they?
up. I can suck it up for one day a week.
Do they get up this early?
Okay, maybe not this early,
Okay.
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, they do get up. They go to work. They function early, but everybody's got a different lifestyle. You've always been a night owl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer
Big
that
time.
too if I had my choice.
Yeah.
I think the perfect thing is go to bed when you're tired, wake up when you wake up.
So when I was a kid, my dad, he did KCRA sports, and he did the 11 o'clock news every night. So, as a kid in the summers, I would spend my time at the television station at KCRA, and he'd finish up the show at 11:30 and walk through the control room and hear the opening notes to Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show, and all that stuff. And he ties up a few loose ends, and we might get home a little bit after.
So you're hanging with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We would get home a little after midnight, and you can't just go right to bed the second you get home.
Right.
So it was always been that way. And then the auto racing stuff too that both of us have done, that generally happens at nighttime. All those races are at nighttime, so it's a lot of late nights and
DJing.
So, yeah. I'm just
Kings games.
It's just
kind of fits.
That's how I was raised.
Yeah. I'm glad they don't play like morning basketball.
Me too.
I mean, it's fun to watch when it's on as an alternative, but yeah, could you imagine if they like mixed and matched like during the week? Hey, it's a 11 o'clock game.
Yuck.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be like getting up and going to every shoot around, like
Yes, exactly.
Some of the folks we know around town that are dedicated and do it. God bless them.
I mean, sure. I don't know what you always glean from that, but but go for it if you want to.
Yeah.
To each their own.
Absolutely.
We got a lot to cover today, but want to kind of start with, I believe I saw it was a post you had last week. And now my timelines may be blending here, but you have your annual fantasy basketball draft.
Yeah.
So that was last week, right?
Yes, it was.
And I saw like food prep, music, everything.
Fun.
How did that all go?
It was great. We've been doing the same league since 1990, if you can believe that. 16 teams.
Yeah.
And
which is tough.
Yeah. So we have it's just a college draft because all the teams are locked. You keep the same players.
Oh.
So it's a legacy fantasy league. And and my wife was lucky enough to win the lottery, so she took Victor Wembanyama, and Did she win the lottery, or did she tank for Wembanyama? She finished fourth to last out of the 16, so she got a little bit lucky. Okay, yeah. The three teams that had the best odds were not real pleased. Mm-hmm. Thought the fix was in. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, but that's why I do it all live on Facebook Live with random.org, and here's the lottery, and bam. And weren't you last? Oh, no, you were 12th, maybe? I picked 14th. So 14th, I finished third, last year. So I picked 14th, and I'm already forgetting who I picked. Well, at that point, I mean, how many rounds are you even picking? So we go 3 rounds in a college draft because that gets you to 48 players. With a lot of people. Yeah. And by then, usually in the third round, people are not even picking college players. They'll pass and pick up a free agent off the free agent list. Gotcha. We allow 3 extra players through the first 2 weeks of the season, then you have to cut down to 15 on your roster. And that's your roster. That's your roster for the year. Yeah. And then you can move, and it costs money for each transaction. Yeah. Who is the player you've had for the longest amount of time? Because if it's a keeper, right, then if you got Giannis
X amount of years ago, it's like, yeah, he's been on my team the entire career.
Yeah, I'd have to give that a quick look, Jason, to give you an honest answer.
But are you? I guess maybe what I'll ask too is, do you like that? I mean, obviously you guys are doing it this way.
Yeah.
So like, hey, I've never.
Oh,
had
it's tough. There's been
De'Aaron Fox on my team.
Right. No, I have other fantasy leagues too, in case I want to get that kind of a fix. But in this situation, it's tough, but it's good because there's parity. We had a guy who was an expansion team to our league. We originally started with 15, and the expansion team finally won a championship here this last year. He'd been in it for, I don't know, 10, 12 years or something, and he finally won the championship. Through. Yeah, so that was cool. It's fun, and you have to think about it in that regard. You're thinking about like Tim Roy, the voice of the Warriors. Yeah. He's in the league. My dad's in the league. And when Tim was picking the other day, I think we got to the third round, and he said, well, I saw the Spurs gave Sidi Sissoko a long-term contract as a second year or a second round pick. Usually they don't get long-term contracts. So they must see something in him. So because it's a keeper league forever, I'll take Sidi Sissoko in the third round. You know what I mean? And Sidi Sissoko might not play for 3 years.
Yeah, but
that's fine. Tim can keep him as the 15th man. Now, what stinks is when someone gets hurt and they miss a lot of time. So like Tim had John Wall on his team last year, and John Wall barely played or whatever. So he finally had to just pull the plug on John Wall and say, that's it.
Yeah. But could you pick him up right after that?
Yeah, sure.
But you have to drop someone of
exactly. Yep.
So there's risks in.
Yeah.
Did you pull up your roster by chance?
I didn't yet.
Okay. I was curious to know if you, because that's how I've always felt about keeper leagues. And I've heard it in whatever sport, if it's baseball, football, or basketball. I knew someone that I liked their premise. I think I want to say, Bob, in a football league, they had keepers, but I think there was like a 2-year max.
Okay, yeah.
And then you had to shuffle through. You couldn't keep that player anymore. And I kind of like that, though. The football one I'm in it's one keeper. And we've had Christian McCaffrey now for probably 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's like at this point, like once we realize, this guy's probably a guy we need to keep. Even on some of those injury years, we were worried about it. And then now we're benefiting, obviously, from have kept him.
So you have a co-owner with you?
My brother, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So
that's always fun. I mean, it's good times. My wife's in the league. My dad's in the league. Bunch of friends.
People you've known for years, obviously. And you guys all get together. Is that all in person for the most part?
Not everybody participates in the draft, but of course we do a live stream of the draft just because we can these days. Yeah. And so it's always, I don't know, it's always fun. I'm glancing here just because you asked who's been on my team the longest. Jimmy Butler was one of my original guys. So he's been with me for a long time. I have Paul George. I don't have a great team. Like I said, I was third place last year. I drafted Pajimski from the Warriors with the 14th pick. So we'll see.
Do you have any Kings?
That is a negative, Nancy. I do not have any.
No Kings.
Do not have any Kings on my team. This, at this juncture.
Yeah,
I'll say.
Yeah. And how many trades happen in your league? Does that happen often?
Yeah. Every once in a while there's a trade, maybe a couple a season or something like that. I mean, and you can include draft picks because it's a legacy type, cool. You know what I mean? So you can, and we have deadlines for, this is the trading deadline is the same as the NBA, but then we'll have like a signing and waiving deadline so that the rosters get locked maybe 1 month before the whole season is done. So it's good times. It's like I said, it's something that's provided a lot of just fun over the years for, and going back to the first one, that was really fun because, my parents and my mom and everyone got real involved in it. My mom baked a cake and we had everybody over for the original draft and all that kind of stuff. Snapped a bunch of pictures. It's good nostalgia.
And back then you're probably getting the results like everyone did out of the newspaper.
Yeah,
maybe handwritten scoring or something like that. I mean, it's amazing how much has changed. It's all for the better, I would say, for the most part. And someone we both knew, I still think it's amazing that Scotty Sterling was responsible for starting fantasy football. And that's crazy.
Yeah. The great Scotty Sterling, for those that don't know, a longtime scout for the Kings, but also was a football. Was he a scout or
he was a scout with the
front office?
Yeah, he was in the front office with the Raiders, but was he was honestly a renaissance man. He did everything. Like he was telling me stories about how he, this was a great story. He told me one time that he's like, hey, if I could ever teach you anything, never do anything for money, because he left a really good gig. It might have been when he was with the Raiders or something in New York.
Okay, wait, we need time out here because I'm only here
for money,
for the big money,
exactly, for the huge money,
for the big money that KHDK provides a co-host.
True. So I mean, you didn't listen.
No, of course.
Nobody said he left. I want to say he was in New York, if I have his timeline right, and then he might have been with like the Knicks, I think, and then went to do something of all things with like the pro rodeo tour or something.
What?
Which is not his background, but it was like a nice offer, and he just he didn't enjoy it. Yeah, but he's he literally did it because of whatever the financial windfall was at the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but then you're thinking, man, you did everything.
Yeah, 27 years with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah,
I'm just pulling that up.
And I think he was baseball scout, NFL scout, fantasy football originator, just everything.
General manager for the Oakland Raiders when they were in the AFL and the Oakland Oaks in the ABA.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Color analyst with Bill King on Raiders radio broadcast.
Yes.
That's something else I didn't know.
Yeah.
Bill King was the best.
Bill King's amazing.
Were you able to listen to much of Bill King when you were?
Not a ton. I did grow up with him, but when I came up here, he was still working, and he's amazing.
I think that was the guy that my dad respected the most, like as a kid growing up. When I remember Bill King at one time did the Raiders, the Warriors, and the A's. Mm-hmm. I mean, that how tough would that be? He's doing all three of them, and I guess, if something overlapped, they'd have someone fill in or whatever. But
and he was good at all of them.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
He was so entertaining as an NBA announcer, really hard on the referees, really hard on the referee. It was a different time, but I mean, he would rip the referees, and I just remember getting a kick out of that, all that stuff back in the days.
I don't know if you ever heard the story, but it wasn't that long ago. It was probably within 10 years ago, and I don't know how long ago he passed. It's been a little bit of time, but Dick Enberg was at a Kings game, and your dad knew him, but your dad was really almost
fanboyish. He really
and so much of us look at your dad that way, and it was interesting to. I'm like, oh, gee, man, you guys are like the same guy. Like, to me, like, you got to be contemporary. He was just, I'm kind of, I got to go up there and talk to him, and he was a little bit not nervous, but had some reservations. I'm like, gee, man, you're the man. Like, it was a funny thing to watch from my perspective.
My dad's so intertwined with the broadcasting business and the legacy and those people. He has a lot of respect for. I know, like, Mike Breen is someone who he really likes out of today's crop of people, and they have a good relationship. So it's pretty cool that some of those people, like Mike Breen, reached out when my dad did his 3000th game, and I know he really appreciated that. Yeah,
there's some really good people out there. Your dad certainly is on that list. We're going to hear from him in a sense. We got some Kings highlights or lowlights to play today. We will react to that. We got a lot of basketball to cover too, as the Kings season is about to get started. We've been talking about the GM survey, top 100 players. Got football starting today, baseball, so much to get to. We'll do all that when we come back here on Leading Off.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
NorCal Sports
Sportsman Show October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Lorenzo driving and pitching, one has it, takes right, goes left, sets up the alley-oop, nice finish, JaVale McGee. Another assist for Malik Monk.
Well, that appears to be something that might be a nice future for the Kings. Malik Monk, little pick and roll, lob to JaVale McGee, part of some success the Kings had last night, but really the Lakers, Bob, last night played without Vanderbilt, LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves, and I would say for the most part controlled the game. There were pockets of the game where the Kings were doing some nice things, but 0-2 preseason, that part doesn't bother me. I would say I haven't really liked the way they've played so far in 2 games.
Yeah, they just didn't look great. I thought the Lakers controlled the game the whole time. I know my wife fell asleep like sometime in the third quarter, and then she woke up at the end. What happened?
Yeah,
I said
40-point quarter.
Said they got smushed.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, really? How bad?" And I was like, "Actually, it wasn't that. It was like 8 or 9 points, right?" But never at any time did I feel like the Kings were in contention to win that game.
No, and they had their guys. The only one that was kind of a late scratch was Keegan Murray, which is unfortunate just because, I thought he had a decent game in Vancouver, and we've been hearing about more of his aggression, and that needs to come out. But it got a chance to put Sasha Vezenkov in the starting lineup. And again, much like the game, there's windows, and I go, okay, I see it. And then other times like, all right, well, he's new to this league, new to this team. He's not a finished product by any means. So I would say right now I'm a little underwhelmed, but I feel like that's a analysis of 2 preseason games. I don't think that's an indictment of the season.
Yeah, I don't in any way, shape, or form would I get concerned really or react strongly about a preseason game. Other than sometimes you see some things that are just, I've watched so much basketball between last Thursday and this Thursday. I think I've seen 19 or 20 of the teams already, like full games.
Wow.
Of the 30 NBA teams, because that's just what I like to do. And there are some things you see, like the Knicks playing when they went to the bench, they're bringing in Jericho Sims as a 4, playing alongside Isaiah Hartenstein. Well, to me, both those guys are just centers, just straight up centers. Neither one of them, like Hartenstein tries to shoot the 3, but he's a low percentage shooter, and Jericho doesn't shoot it at all. And I was just like, now that would concern me. Those are the kind of things that concern me. But positionally, like for the Kings right now, I'm not that concerned. I didn't think they looked good, though. I was glad to see Chris Duarte do a couple of good things because he started off the game rough again. Like he was rough in Toronto, and then the first couple of minutes for him last night, I thought, there were just, a couple of things offensively, defensively was like, yikes. But then he ended up making some shots and looking better. And I've seen him play well. Like my wife, I always go back to her because she's like exemplifies the casual but informed fan, and she's like, well, why is Duarte ahead of Vezenkov? I'm like, Kim, it's 2 games into the preseason. Like none of this, really matters. If you remember last year, KZ Okpala and Maneki were getting
minutes
time
at the beginning. Yeah.
So they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And Chris Duarte, I've seen him play much better, certainly in college. And I thought in his rookie year with Indiana, he was better. He definitely took a step back last year. But I don't know, man. I mean, it was pretty much what you expected. They missed Keegan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think, it's not as easy to go. Like I'm with you. There's no need to have an overreaction to it, but I think what we did see are the known commodities. That's the little bit of I don't know if bothers the right word, but I think the tone set defensively was from the starting 5, and that's 4/5 of what we've seen. And that's Barnes, it's Herter, that's Fox, that's Sabonis. And you go, I thought it looked like an all-star game at the beginning. I'm like, is anybody trying defensively? And then the second run through from the starters I thought was better, but like, why did you have to get to that? Again, that's analyzing a preseason game, but that's something a little bit concerning.
Well, there's a reason why the Kings won 48 games last year. They were 3rd seed in the West. Everybody knows that, but there's a reason why they're not an NBA championship team yet. And it's pretty simple. I mean, it's on the defensive end. And I was frustrated with Domas last night. I mean, Domas has to become a threat from 17 feet and beyond. And it can't be indecisive either.
Right.
It needs to happen. Like, there were several times where they weren't even guarding him. They're sagging off of him by 5 feet. And it's like the second you catch it, you got to face and be a threat and prove to them that you can make those shots. Then he tries a 3-pointer from deep. It doesn't go. And then it's like he's a little bit gun shy. And it just, that's something, I mean, it was so obvious in the Warriors series last year when they would sag off him and just basically dare him to shoot 15-foot jump shots. It's like, dude,
which he can make.
He can make 70% of those, I would think. So he's just got to, it's got to be ingrained and he's got to do it. And defensively, I thought they looked really, really rough defensively. When Davion came in, finally he put some pressure on Russell, and then Russell threw a pass out of bounds. And, I was like, well, finally there's what some defensive pressure can do to someone, and he's even making it difficult for this guy to make a pass.
Right.
But I thought Russell looked great.
Gosh, when he was doing that yesterday, it's a reminder, like, he can get sizzling hot. He really is. He also can be a guy you're like, what are you doing?
I agree.
He's a frustrating player, but when he gets hot, he gets as hot as anybody in the league.
Yeah, if he can sustain those hot patches a lot more and not have some of those, nights off. And I don't know if, like, with him, it doesn't bug me like the way James Harden takes a night off. It's not like that to that degree, but there's just some nights where he seems less engaged.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. But I thought he looked really sharp. I thought Hachimura looked sharp. I thought Taurean Prince played pretty well, and he's going to be a nice little, he might be that 5th starter for them. It depends on which way they're going to go. I was interested to see, whether that'll be Gabe Vincent or whether that'll be Taurean Prince, how they'll actually play it, when the time comes. Gabe Vincent hit a lot of big shots.
He did. I think he's going to be a good fit for them. All right, let's get more on the Kings coming up. Let's get cut number 2 in leading.
Cut number 2.
1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball, hit in the air, center field. Going back is Harris. Back toward the wall. It is gone! He did it again! This time to center fields.
1-0 pitch is rifled right center field and deep. Going back on it. Goodwood. Good night.
Goodwood
with a 2-run shot to right center field.
Counts 2-2 on Moreno on the pitch from Lynn. And a shot to left center field. Back she goes. Are you kidding me? Gabby Moreno hits it out anyway, and it's 4-0 Diamondbacks.
A little home run medley. The Dodgers are eliminated. The Twins eliminated. Phillies have put the Braves on the brink. That Dodger game was wild. That sequence that we played in that highlight. Diamondbacks already hit a couple homers in a row. Then they hit what we think is a third one in a row. They kind of debate. Then they go to review. Foul ball. It's like it was really close. Next pitch, gone. And the place just lose their mind. Incredible 100-win season, gone for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Gone like that, swept.
It is, and the overreaction already, like from national media, the 2 years in a row, the Dodgers have, won over 100 games, and then they don't get it done in the playoffs. And just like the failure of the Dodgers.
Yes.
And, it's like, man, we're so overly dramatic and harsh on it. There can only be one champion, and it doesn't mean that your season was ruined. And in such a short, you got to win 3 games, right? 3 out of 5 in this deal. I kind of wish it was 7.
Yeah, it's 7 from now on, but the first part, it's quicker. And, an off day, and then, the way baseball works, another pitcher's hot, and
that's it.
You're gone.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Enjoy the vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for those guys, kind of, but not really. And, but it was interesting to hear him say, Mookie Betts was like, I didn't do anything to help my team. At least he took some ownership of it. So, yeah.
But he had such an awesome year. That's the hard part. So,
yep.
All right. Last one here on leading off.
On a string. Gray getting tricky. Will hoist. You bet.
Yeah, Chelsea Gray, the Las Vegas Aces win again. They're 2-0. They could put away New York. This is should have been a great series, but it's being dominated by a team that has been great all season long.
I think that's what everybody expected. Yeah. At the beginning of the season was Las Vegas was going to be the WNBA champions, and
even without Candace Parker, which I think she would have been a role player for them, but still, she's been out.
Yeah, it's still looking that way that they're going to get it done. full disclosure, I didn't watch that game, so I just caught the highlights last night.
It was a clinic.
It looked like it from the highlights.
Led by as many as 32, never trailed. I mean, they had an assist number, shot the ball well, just crushed them. I mean, there was a lot of stars there. Like, Vegas has really grown to love. They love what they have, which is the Golden Knights. They love the Aces. The Raiders are getting shared with whoever comes in. You know, if they're playing the Packers, there's Packer fans. And they all don't seem to want the A's.
Yeah.
But they may be getting the A's.
Yeah, and give it time.
Yeah,
you know, maybe they'll, because nobody really in Vegas is from Vegas, right?
That's
so
true.
It takes time for them to grow their allegiance to their teams. It still saddens me that the Raiders are there, but I get it.
I know.
I get it. I know. I grew up going to those games.
I know. It's just such a great place down there, but I know they have their challenges there too, but it's just a shame. I hate to see teams leave. All right, we got a break here. When we come back, safe or out, we'll kind of go around the diamond again with a couple of topics. That is coming your way next here on Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and a fairly nice day today. Clear and cool to start your day. We will be warming, though, with daytime highs in the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees with light winds. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
The NorCal Sportsman Show is coming October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville. Get huge year-end deals on everything outdoor. Hunting, fishing, camping, golf, and more. Plus free interactive family activities, live music, the Big O Tires Custom Car Show, and a real catch and release pond from Fisherman's Warehouse. Don't miss this first ever event, sponsored by Roseville Auto Mall. Get your tickets now at NorCalSportsmanShow.com. That's NorCalSportsmanShow.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
As a roofer, I've got a million things to do, and that's a million things that need to be done right. That's why I partner with Beacon. The team at Beacon makes sure my materials are delivered accurately and on time. And the Beacon Pro Plus app makes ordering the brands I depend on, like CertainTeed Landmark Pro, easier than ever. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase CertainTeed through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon. Always building.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Good Guys Heating and Cooling is proud to announce their partnership with Susan G. Komen to raise money and awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For the entire month of October, Good Guys is committed to donating $10 of every $69 seasonal tune-up performed and $250 for every heating and air system replaced to Susan G. Komen. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now to schedule your tune-up and help save lives. 855-530-GOOD-AIR or online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057-618.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings lost their second preseason game so far with a 109-101 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers yesterday. Fox led the team in scoring with 18 points to go along with 5 assists and 3 rebounds. Kings will have their first preseason game at home on Sunday when they host the Golden State Warriors. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Week 6 of the NFL kicks off tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos for Thursday Night Football. You can listen to the game with pregame starting at 4:30 and kickout scheduled for 5:15 right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
And once again, Carmichael Dave out this week. Great to have Bob Gerald in this morning. Did you play any baseball growing up?
Yeah. For about four years of Little League before I determined baseball was boring.
Okay. How were you at baseball?
Not very good.
Not very good.
How about you?
I played a lot. I mean, I felt like it was okay.
Come on, brag a little bit. Were you a Little League All-Star?
Yeah, I guess.
See,
Little
there you
League
go.
Is, it's one of those things I remember, especially when very young, maybe T-ball. It's like, I hit a home run. I hit a home run. I hit 4 home runs today. And then you watch Little League today or T-ball, and I'm sure it's the same, where I just basically hit a ball to where nobody was, and then they threw it all around, and I just could run a little bit. And you're like,
kept running.
So technically, they were probably like singles with 3 errors, but hey, I had 4 home runs because nobody can catch the ball.
Yep.
So
I tried that strategy one time. I remember just a base hit. I was like, you know what? None of these guys can field. I'm just going to keep running. I made it around second and got thrown out at third.
They made a play. How do they figure that out? It is pretty funny to watch. I like actually some of those things that, we know the algorithms or whatever you look at social media wise. One time I got down a rabbit hole of like funny kid bloopers like that, and now it seems like it's on my phone a lot, but it'll be someone, a kid that swings and then runs and tackles the pitcher, and you're like, what? And then 4 people jump on there like, what is happening here? But then I watch it for hours. So
yeah, that's the best.
It is the best.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what do you have for us in safe or out?
Safe or out, the Phillies own the Braves.
I would say out at the moment, but one more win. The team that is a little bit like the Kings last year, historically great offense. The Braves have had an historically great offense. That is the danger of postseason. You get great pitching, and the Phillies have been mashing too. They had 6 home runs yesterday. I'm going to go out, but I feel like this answer could be different as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll say out too, just because the Braves have their super pitcher on the mound, so things could change.
They can still win this.
Right, things could change, but I just thought yesterday and then going back to last year, they seem to have their number. Thought it was interesting, Bryce Harper took it personally that some guy said, attaboy Harper. It's like baseball is so they're the king of petty motivation, right? I mean,
and I wonder how much of it is even real, but it does, I mean, if it motivated him, great.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? But I'm with you. I'm like, really? That's what got you motivated to do all that? But it was fun. I mean, I'm not mad at Bryce Harper for what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's theatrical and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be interesting to see if the Braves bring their ace tonight and maybe
if there's a counter.
Yeah, maybe things slow down a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Number 2 on safe or out.
Safe or out. Keenan Thompson doing Big Papi is the single greatest baseball impersonation in history.
Big Dominican lunch. I love it. I'm trying to think of others. I'm going to go with safe just for now. I mean, I think Keenan's great. I love that impression. I don't even know how accurate it is, even if Papi doesn't matter. It's just a caricature of him that I enjoy every time.
I'm going to go safe too. It's hilarious to me. when he starts talking about Mofongo and just some of the faces Keenan makes.
Yeah.
Like, I love that guy. We're going to talk a little bit more about Saturday Night Live.
They're back this week.
Back this week with the season opener, and such a great show over many, many years. And Keenan, so many characters that are great, but I love that one personally. I love him as Big Papi. I can never get enough of it.
Chris, where are you on that?
I think you could go Norm Macdonald as Lou Gehrig.
Oh, yeah.
What? Why am I forgetting that? I'm sure it'll take 2 seconds to rewatch.
You can go with Horatio Sands as Don Zimmer.
Oh, getting pushed down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the only ones I could think of.
But Papi is, and it's great that he can just do it. And I don't even know
Will
that
Ferrell as Harry Carey
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
That's a good
That's
one.
really good.
Yeah.
It's the moon. Yeah, that's really good. All right, number 3.
Number 3, Ricky Henderson stole a record 130 bases in 1982. With these current rules limiting pitchers throwing to first base, Ricky would have had 150 plus steals, safe or out.
I'd hate to put a number on it, but I guess if the rules were put then, because just in general, there's less, though it picked up a bit this year, less base stealing, but it's just from Ricky's DNA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's talk about the Ricky run. If he gets on first, a walk or a hit, he's got second, he's likely got third, sacrifice, he's in. He just produced a run and really nothing happened.
But can you imagine if you could only check him twice?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you could only
He's
throw
gone.
to first 2 times.
Yeah, and if you've already done it, then he knows.
Yeah,
and it's like, I just need to time it. And, he would get thrown out, but more times than not, obviously he's stealing. He was so good. Just such a great athlete. I'll go with safe. Why not?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with safe too,
Yeah.
just because I love the guy. And he was one of my heroes growing up too. And, man, he brought excitement. I love the stolen base. To me, that was like when we played baseball as kids, we played more stolen base games and trying to,
Yeah, because a lot of people can't hit home run. I mean, that's
Right.
you're just like waiting. That's something we all seem like we could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sliding on the grass and getting the grass stains and all that kind of good stuff. Those were all good memories. And Ricky was the king of all that stuff. I mean, he was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. We had a question the other day on the show where I think it was if you could pick a, childhood hero that you had from baseball, who would you like to see play today? So would Ricky be one of yours?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I put Tony Gwynn in, but Ricky was someone I
yes.
debated because I just loved. I know hitting's different now, but I think Tony Gwynn, if you can hit, you can hit, and he would still be doing what he's doing.
He was so great.
Yeah,
he was just such a natural and such a good guy too. Seemingly, I mean, I never had any interactions. Did you with?
I did a couple times, and he was awesome. I mean, he was really authentically. I mean, sure, I'm sure there's moments where but every other interaction I ever had with him was incredible.
He just always seemed like such a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him, Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson was always one of my guys.
Mm-hmm.
Always a big Reggie fan. My dad got to know him at a time when my dad was back at KCRA doing the sports there. They would send my dad to spring training every year, and he got to do a couple features with Reggie and really spend some time with Reggie. Reggie was into, cars, as everyone remembers. And then he brought, my dad was doing PR for the Autorama, which is an event that happens every year here in Sacramento. And they brought Reggie to the Autorama to sign autographs and all that stuff. So they got to hang out even a little bit more. And so he was always kind of a big time hero to me. Someone I always looked up to was like, wow, Reggie Jackson's,
Seems larger than life too.
Absolutely.
Still even to this day to me.
Yes.
He's one of those guys that
is
a big personality, but kind of owns
Right.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, one of my favorites for sure. That'd be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Ricky and Reggie and Tony Gwynn and some of those guys.
Good times.
Steve Garvey running for political
I saw
office.
That. Yeah. That always felt like a position for him to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like he was doing that 40 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a break here. When Bob and I come back, we mentioned it earlier. We just heard about it with Keenan Thompson and Big Papi. SNL is back this week. We're glad about that. We're going to take a trip down memory lane, some of our favorite skits and athletes that have been there, different things. We've got that. We'll have some fun with that when we come back here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's James Brown's Celebrity Hot Tub Party, and now here is the Godfather of Soul and Hot Tub Man #1, James Brown. Sometimes I make me break out in a cold sweat. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This just makes you smile, doesn't it?
It does. It's the best. Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy is James Brown's Celebrity Hot Tub.
Yep. With Dr. Joyce Brothers. For whatever reason. I don't know why. But she's in the hot tub with him.
The real Dr. Joyce Brothers?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm wondering, sometimes the show's been on so long. Saturday Night Live's back this weekend with Pete Davidson. Not my favorite. Who are you and Pete Davidson?
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah. He was sorry, Eddie. James. Pete Davidson was supposed to do. I think there was the season finale last year that just never happened with the writer's strike. So I think they just kind of left that in place. He's going to open up the season this weekend. I'm glad it's back. It's been a show that's been on forever. And there's talk that Lorne Michaels may be done.
Wow.
At some point soon. He's been involved in this the entire time. But I hope that doesn't mean the show is done, because I think it live on. And Chris and I were talking about it yesterday, that or maybe 2 days ago, to me, there's pockets of like anything. Like there'll be some shows, they're not all hits.
Oh, absolutely.
But I feel like to me, they're must watch. I'm going to watch them all. And sometimes I'm getting older and older where like, I don't, more times than not, I don't know who the musician is. Yeah, but then when it's the musician and the host, I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know who these are. But sometimes I'm like pleasantly surprised, and you just never know what you're going to get.
What were some of your earliest SNL memories?
I mean, I watched honestly, I think almost from the beginning, and whether I'm blending reruns with the beginning, but I do remember very early on, Bill Murray and Steve Martin, though he wasn't a cast member.
Right.
Gilda Radner, just, the beginning crew.
Yeah, I think Mr. Bill fascinated me from the beginning. That goes back to like 76.
And that was almost like what equivalent of a digital short now, right?
Yeah, it was a claymation character who basically just would get smushed, do everything. He was and they had Mr. Hand, who it was actually a pair of hands that you would see moving Mr. Bill around. And then they introduced a foil named Sluggo to him, and Sluggo would beat up Mr. Bill, and it would just end up with Mr. Bill getting smushed. And I don't know why that was so funny to me as an 8-year-old kid, but that was just hilarious. I love Mr. Bill.
Here's a little Mr. Bill.
Things around the house can be dangerous too, like these electric circuits. Never put any hands around it.
Say, I want to watch TV, Mr. Bill.
Okay.
See, and this is one too that I wonder, like, for you, if you see Mr. Bill again, it's probably going to take you back, and that's the nostalgia part that you enjoy. I was telling this to Chris as well, like a couple things that I used to watch as a kid from SNL that I remember. And then if a rerun or something, I would say, oh, you got to see this, to my wife. And then it lands flat. I'm like, that was so funny. This was so great. She's like, yeah. And I don't know if it's nostalgia more or was it truly funny at the, the time it was.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Does it have staying
power?
I think
comedy changes, through the years. What we thought was funny now could be so played out. We've heard, so many things a million times. Another one of my early favorites was, and this one stuck with us because we were race fans as kids, car racing and stuff. They had something called the Meat Wagon Action Track Set. That was a TV commercial from 1977. And instead of like having Hot Wheels go around, they show the kid with the Hot Wheels, but the Hot Wheels would crash and catch on fire. And then they'd bring an ambulance out, and they called that the Meat Wagon. Yeah. So from then on, all my buddies, anytime someone got hurt at the races, like, roll the Meat Wagon out, which is really insensitive and really bad. But it was just hilarious.
It stuck with you. Here's a couple more things from further back in the early days of SNL.
There's no other pair of Czech brothers who cruise and swing so successfully in tight slacks. We are two wild and crazy guys.
Again, a skit now. I don't know how it would play, but back then, I mean, Dan Aykroyd was really good too.
And Steve Martin, who would be, a regular guest host, almost like he was a part of the players there on the not ready for primetime players, they used to call him. But yeah, the wild and crazy guy, that was for those of you who weren't around in the 70s. That was a thing. You know what I mean? Like as a little kid, I was walking around telling everyone I was a wild and crazy guy, and they had arrows going through their head, and two Czech brothers with really tight European slacks and
plaid suits.
And they were swingers with big gold chains. It was just like a caricature of 70s disco, European disco, and just classic stuff. Loved it.
And sometimes characters from the show turn into things that go outside the show and become movies, like this.
Watching Cable 10, Aurora, Illinois Community Access Channel.
Welcome to Wayne's World. Here's your host, Wayne Campbell.
Party! It's Friday, it's 10:30, it's time to party. I'm your excellent host, Wayne Campbell. With me as always is Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth.
Where were you on the, like Chris and I have differed on this, whether it's a recurring skit? Like, I think if it's well done, I'm in.
Oh yeah,
but sometimes like, I could do without that one again. But
yeah, sometimes some of them are dumb to me. But Wayne's World was great. I mean, so many sayings and way.
Yeah.
I still to this day, when I'm trying to get my wife's attention, we're watching a basketball game. Game on.
Yeah. You just drop in there.
Right. It's like and Mike Myers he breaks me up.
Yeah.
So I saw the movie Wayne's World before I ever saw Saturday Night Live.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right on.
And so in that order, was it weird or cool? I don't know. I'm trying to think how that played for you.
I was 7.
Okay, so you're pretty young. Maybe
I probably shouldn't have been seeing it.
I don't remember being too racy or anything, but yeah, I don't know if that was
I don't think I got it. I think it's just like, oh, okay. Yeah. But
you'll have to double back.
It was one of those things as I got older and you saw reruns, I was like, wait, this
is from that?
No, it was, whoa, Wayne's World's on Saturday Night Live? This is weird.
Yeah. Sometimes like when we were playing the clip to come back in from James Brown's Celebrity Hot Tub, what it did remind me of hearing it back without seeing it was What's Up With That?
Oh, I love What's Up With That.
And I love the randomness of that. Like just for the eye, you're like, there's something going on everywhere. And then the randomness of who would come in and the panel and not getting to Lindsey Buckingham and just, each and every week.
Reese did what?
Yeah. Yes. Because Keenan is just so good. How about this character? I think recently this one has been, I would say, pretty popular for a lot of people. And we'll just let it play.
New York's hottest club is Jan's new backpack. Discovered by a lackluster gay realtor named Anthony who is late for every viewing. This Park Slope slop bucket gives new meaning to the question, is that the little woman who played the principal in Kindergarten Cop? This place has everything. Asbestos, lupus, the magazines at Supercuts, Dan Cortez. A doorman who always high-fives children of divorce.
He's losing it here.
A building that you can tell used to be a McDonald's. And if the bar isn't your scene, head downstairs to see the Prozac Doobie Brothers.
What are the Prozac Doobie Brothers?
It's that thing of when a woman in a depression commercial gets better at the end, so they show her at a smooth jazz concert.
Oh, Stefan. And the story apparently on that is like they would have, because they had to run through it, an hour and a half before, but then I think they changed that script on him.
John Mulvaney. Yeah.
And so that's where he would break up.
Bill Hader would be reading those cold. He'd be reading them for the first time. And I don't think he ever went through a whole segment straight.
No.
Like he would always break up and laugh. And to me, that made it even more fun.
Stefan was great.
All these bizarre suggestions. If you hadn't seen the premise, that was basically it. It's like, if you're a tourist coming to New York, he always had some bizarre place for you to go. So I love
Spud Webb will be there. And they always would use MTV's Dan Cortez, which is funny. And I think that's what broke him up there.
The Church Lady.
Yeah.
Another one of
iconic.
my all-time favorites. You have any Church Lady for us?
Church Lady right here.
Yeah.
Well, my first guest is an accomplished actress and best-selling author. Please welcome Shirley MacLaine. Welcome, Shirley. I'd like to ask you, in your book, Out on a Limb, you said the phrase, I am God. What did you mean?
Well, Church Lady, you see, I believe that God is within everyone. I believe that you are God, the cameraman is God, and by that same token, you see, I am God.
Well, isn't that special?
Iconic, right?
Absolutely. Oh, I love the Church Lady. And the Church Lady would make me laugh because my mom loved the Church Lady so much. My mom grew up going to church.
Yeah.
Her father's a pastor, my grandpa. And for whatever reason, it just tickled her so much because it reminded her actually of church ladies that she knew, growing up in Indiana.
I think, do you have a personal favorite character or person from the show? Like whether it's like Stefan or Bill Hader, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be really tough. I mean, I always was a huge Eddie Murphy fan, so I liked a lot of his stuff. Kenan Thompson really cracks me up.
Yeah.
Jean Cajun, the Paris Def Comedy Jam guy, Bon to the Jour.
Yes.
And, you know, some of his
And he
things.
he doesn't break, but he always looks like he's going to.
Yes.
He's always smiling, kind of laughing when he's doing his stuff.
The More Cowbell skit was
classic.
Just one of the greatest.
Will Ferrell's incredible.
Jimmy Fallon breaking up in
All
that
the
one
time.
just couldn't keep a straight face.
Chris Farley was he was
Chris
so
Farley.
over the top, but I don't know if he was always funny, but he knew how to, maybe a skit wasn't funny, but he would punch it in a way you're like, okay, he made it better.
Yep. MacGruber.
Oh, we gotta hit one more because for Chris, that's
absolutely.
Oh, it's the theme for MacGruber. We can play this while we go out. MacGruber was classic.
Making life-saving inventions at a house of materials.
I just love how clueless he was.
Absolutely.
Serious and, trying to solve crimes.
Right.
2 seconds, MacGruber. But wait,
Kristen Wiig was so great as like the clueless
sidekick.
Sidekick with him. SNL, I mean,
Yeah.
what a franchise. I mean, unbelievable what they've been able to produce. And even people who weren't directly players on the show, how they become associated with the show, whether it's Steve Martin, Justin Timberlake, Dave Chappelle's had some iconic moments on that show. It's just, it really is an American tradition and staple.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And on Saturday night, even if I might be DJing at that time at 11:30, but I'm definitely going to be taping it and I'll watch it.
Thank
for
goodness
sure.
for DVRs.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
permanently set for me on that one.
Absolutely.
All right. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We got more to get to. In the next hour, we're going to react to the top 100 list. Everybody's kind of doing one. ESPN has theirs, the GM survey, 3 for Madness, so much more. That's all coming up as Bob and I continue here on Sactown Sports.
Incredible. Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted, ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The NorCal Sportsman Show is coming October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville. Get huge year-end deals on everything outdoor. Hunting, fishing, camping, golf, and more. Plus free interactive family activities, live music, the Big O Tires Custom Car Show, and a real catch and release pond from Fisherman's Warehouse. Don't miss this first ever event, sponsored by Roseville Auto Mall. Get your tickets now at NorCalSportsmanShow.com. That's NorCalSportsmanShow.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At aimyourdigital.com,
We'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. What's happening for Ram Power Days?
The biggest sale of the year with up to $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn and Laramie Crew cabs. Or save up to $6,000 off MSRP and get thousands more with 0% financing for 72 months.
Pretty much all your Rams are on sale and 0% financing?
Hoblet is always looking out for you, which is why we have up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 Crew cabs too. And with over 500 Rams available, we're sure to have your perfect truck at California's #1 Ram truck dealer.
These deals can't last long. See our whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. 12,000 total net savings after 6,000 factory rebates and 6,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,000 loyalty bonus cash for current owners of Stellantis brand vehicle and $1,000 case construction cash. Must have purchased eligible case equipment from qualifying dealer. Or take 0% financing for 72 months plus 6,000 dealer discounts. Offer on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Plus 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 0% for 72 months equals $1,389 per thousand borrowed. 8,000 total net savings after 3,000 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $1,000 case construction and 500 first responder bonus cash for current members of eligible first responder association. 10 to each offer. See dealer for details.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings lost their second preseason game so far with a 109-101 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers last night. Fox led the team in scoring with 18 points to go, along with 5 assists and 3 rebounds. The Kings will have their first preseason game at home on Sunday, and they host the Golden State Warriors. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Week 6 of the NFL kicks off tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos for Thursday Night Football. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame starting at 4:30 and kickout scheduled for 5:15 right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Jason Ross, Bob Geraldine on this Thursday morning, October 12th. Before we move on to our next topic here, I forgot to play this one. I got one more I got to play because we were talking about it earlier. Let's just let it rip.
Welcome back, Big Bobby. So you're retiring from baseball.
That's right, man. And we celebrated with a big lunch. Yeah, everybody have a lunch. We have mofongo, pica pollo, pescado frito, mengú con tostones, y batata fritas.
I'm sorry, you had all that for lunch.
That's right. Big Dominican lunch with Big Poppy.
Keenan.
He's the best.
Poppy. Yeah.
He is the best. So many people we didn't even talk about. I mean, we didn't go long on Will Ferrell. We didn't go long on Tina Fey or, I mean, man.
Wiggs, Sudeikis.
Oh, yeah.
When it was like threatening to be Sandler and Chris Rock, like the star power they had at one point. Maybe the shows weren't as good, but man, Norm Macdonald on News was ruthless, but so good.
I loved it too. Yeah, I'm surprised that
him and OJ.
They didn't. That's actually what got him in trouble, right? Dick Ebersol was buddies with OJ and didn't like Norm Macdonald doing this thing, but Norm, it always had to do with crack whores, right?
Yes, exactly. The worst job, assistant. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Norm. R.I.P. Norm. One of the kind of iconic things that happened last year, Bob, with the Kings, we all know, was the beam. And I remember when it first started, kind of thinking, okay, I'm not maybe a little hokey, but cool. It signifies a win. So I don't know that anybody's mad at it, but interesting. And then to my recollection, I remember when they were, I believe, in LA, and I think it was a Clipper game. I'm not sure, but I think Kings had won, and De'Aaron tweeted something out like, fire up that beam. We're coming home, Sactown or something like that. And then it was like, oh, wait, the players are recognizing this. This was pretty early in the season. And then it took on a life of its own. The beam is truly kind of an amazing thing that seemingly happened. I mean, there was a plan behind it, but its growth was organic.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it too, is that it is and remains organic, which is where we're headed to here.
Yeah.
Normally, Kelly Brothers would be here
Right.
talking business and sports, and one of my questions, not knowing that Kelly wasn't going to be with us today, was, what's the valuation for the beam? Like, what would it cost to sponsor the beam on a nightly basis? Now, again, I don't want this to happen.
Right.
I hope
that's the
it
way
never.
of the world, right?
Yeah,
it can be.
It can be, but I also think there's another way to look at it, which I hope is how the Kings are looking at it, and that is the beam is supporting the brand of the Sacramento
Right.
Kings, and that's all you need. You don't need it to be and pick any company you want, one of the local Roto-Rooters or something like that, to sponsor that beam. It doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
The beam has its own Wikipedia page.
It does?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, but
I
it
didn't,
does.
which,
Paragraphs, dude. Like
Wow.
paragraphs on the background. Light the beam. The reception of the beam. Unbelievable.
I just like the premise so much too, where early on when it was going on, people that, I have family and other friends still from Southern California, and people I think don't even know a thing about basketball. They're like, hey, I like the beam. I'm like, when did you hear about that?
Yeah.
How do you even know about that? Do you even know a player on the Kings? But they know Light the Beam. And I even like just that saying, like, hey, I'm going to the Kings game tonight. All right, Light the Beam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's equivalent to Go Kings or have fun, but it feels like there's a lot of meanings to it.
I am not a fan of this Beam Wikipedia page.
What did you find?
Because like in the background, this is the first sentence.
Okay.
The Kings relocated from Kansas City to Sacramento in 1985. Since the move, they have notoriously performed poorly, with their only successful stretch coming between 1999 and 2006. Since then, the Kings had become a perennial laughingstock in the league.
Oh, you better get on that and change it.
What does that have to do with the beam?
I know.
Right.
The beam was born a year ago. The beam is new. The beam is successful. And the beam is ours, right?
Yeah, but what do you think? Like, give me a number. Throw it out there. What do you?
I mean,
you know a little something about sales and stuff like that. What do you think it would cost for this to be the soulful and funky show Bob Star Productions beam per night?
I don't know. I don't know that I could do it. I mean, they obviously would do it like for
sure. I'm sure they would.
I mean, that's got to be millions, right?
Okay, I don't know. I was thinking. So you're saying like for the whole season or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, what were you thinking?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
An evaluation because
it's like, didn't I just read?
What you don't want it to be like and I don't even want to pick a company. Company X's beam.
AT&T's beam brought to you by FedEx.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That's how NASCAR would do it. That's for sure. Yeah.
Shot off the Golden One Center roof.
Exactly.
And, I'm trying to think with batteries powered by or whatever.
It's exactly. Well, didn't we just read that the Sphere in Las Vegas, you can advertise on the Sphere, and there's a 45 number. I don't know, it was 45,000 or 450,000 a day.
A day.
Yeah.
The Sphere is amazing. I know you saw it in the summer.
Yeah.
That is truly,
and that's a different type of advertising too, because you can put your whole logo
and you can see it from everywhere.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But this beam, apparently they've worked on it. It's bigger. It's stronger. Faster. I don't know if it's faster. But it's
so J. Ross is putting $1 million on the beam.
Do you think I'm too high?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Chris, what's your guess? I mean, we're guessing here. I
have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, because I think it's one of those things then I don't even know like what a naming rights for an arena, like Golden One had to pay a good amount of money to be on the side of the building for X amount of years, which ironically Arco was the first one ever. And it was here in Sacramento. Naming rights, but those are huge branding opportunities.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about. And again, I hope they don't do it. I hope they don't sell it. But I'd love to hear from John Reinhardt of the Kings or somebody. And
John, text us. Let us know what the valuation would be.
Give us a valuation on the beam and what it would cost to advertise there on a nightly basis. I think Jason Jason has some extra money to spend.
Oh,
from
yeah.
some of his gambling ventures. So I think maybe Jason will sponsor it.
It's become so cool, and I like it when the inevitable is going to happen at a Kings game where they're going to win. Like, it's not a game in doubt, and the Light the Beam chant. I think a lot of people are waiting for that, looking forward to it. People stay around to watch the lighting of the beam. People go outside to watch the lighting of the beam. People come in to see the beam.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick that's totally taken off, and I think it's awesome. And even when it started last year, it was starting to get a little momentum. I'm like, this is probably 1 year, right? Like, I think it's just this year, but now I think it's here.
Yeah. Well, last week we were talking about how we kind of wish there was a song that we could associate with the Sacramento Kings. You're talking about how Blow the Whistle comes on at a Warriors game, and that's 100% Bay Area.
Yeah.
It fits like a glove. And I guess the beam is, we don't have a song, but we have the beam.
Yeah.
I know it slightly irritates my Bay Area friends. So that's good. You know that it's doing its job then if they're slightly irritated by the lighting of the beam and all the talk about it, because it really did get a lot of traction.
What is the irritation to is it because they don't
I think
have
just
it?
because they're competitive dudes, you know what I mean? And they're just like, come on, light the beam. Whatever.
Since we're talking about the beam, my feeling is that the beam shouldn't be a button that you push. It should be a lever that you pull.
And what's the noise make, Chris?
It would be
he wants the lever.
Like a huge lever that they have to pull down.
Yeah. Yeah, like have you watched the Amazon Prime games on Thursday at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Marshawn Lynch in one of those commercials, he pulls a lever to like get the electricity started or something like that. Absolutely. That's exactly how it should be, Chris.
As opposed to the button.
Yeah, let's get Chris in charge.
Does a player pull the lever?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the same idea.
Same idea, just a lever.
Right now it's like a Staples.
Yeah, that was easy.
That was easy. You press a little button.
But everybody can't wait for it. Like, they're all excited. It's a cool moment. And then
I kind of want them not to win in the preseason, so we don't have to worry about do they light the beam during the preseason.
Well, honestly, that is maybe a question for the Kings, and not that they had Summer League and they won a couple games. They didn't do it then, and which is probably fine in the California Classic. But if they win Sunday, do they do the beam? I honestly don't know. They didn't have it in the preseason last year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery. I guess we'll have to.
We had a couple of playoff beam lightings. The weird one is like the games that happened last year, which was the one Kevin Huerter hit the game-winning 3 against the Jazz, and there was really no light the beam chance. It's basically game over, and then the beam's lit. Like, it's sometimes the game's so close you can't really get into the anticipation of it. But
it is crazy just how much traction it gets and the people taking it. Like, so I'm curious if you were one of the people who saw the beam get lit and you took a picture and took a video. What are you doing with those pictures?
Yeah, it feels like people post them, but today, what do you do after the fact?
Yeah,
I think a lot of money could be made there. I'm with you though. I hope it just stays its organic self.
Man, we probably just gave them a really bad. They had to have thought of this already, and there has to be a savvy businessman in Sacramento who's inquired. Right. I know I would.
Yeah,
because it's a thing.
It's a thing, and people would know about it. Now, they may not always put your name attached to it, but if they did, then how is that valued?
The Sactown Sports Beam.
There you go.
Man, you know what, Jason? Let's do some old-fashioned radio here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a tease right now.
Okay.
There's someone ranked in the top 20 on ESPN's top 100 list that I think is lunacy that this guy is in the top 20.
Okay.
So that's a tease. We'll talk a little bit about that list. And another little radio thing for you. I see that there's quite a few people in the old YouTube room right now. As we go to break right here, I want each and every one of you to hit that thumbs up button for us. Do the thumbs up. Can you do that for us? We woke up early for you. Can you just hit the thumbs up button for us? We would appreciate it.
One task.
Just one task.
That's it. We'll watch the numbers grow while we go to break. When we come back, it's 3 for Madness. It's a good tease.
Yeah,
that's coming your way.
Yeah.
Next, you're on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to say that Quick Quack Car Wash is a proud partner of the Sacramento Kings, and they can't wait for the upcoming season to celebrate. So Quick Quack is giving one lucky duck a pair of lower-level tickets to the Kings home opener. That's versus Golden State on October 27th. You can enter for your chance to win this amazing opening night experience. All you have to do is go to SactownSports.com. Be there for Kings versus Golden State, courtesy of Quick Quack, where you can wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, 3 questions, 3 answers coming your way. That player that Bob described as lunacy in the top 100 coming in our next segment. But we do have 3 questions, 3 answers. Crystal, what's question number 1?
Name something in sports that had you worked up that turned out to be totally untrue.
I saw that you put this question in. This is a good one. I felt like you had something ready on this one. I'll let you start.
So I had a couple of them, and one of them we referenced already. Last year, I was worked up that KZ Akpala was in the starting lineup. I was really like, my wife reminded me. She was like, "You really?
This one's really bothering you.
This is really bothering you." But the one was the Kings moving. That had me worked up, like really worked up.
I mean, now it's untrue.
Right.
But I mean, there was some
at the
serious...
time, we all believed that it was a done.
Yeah.
Done.
Except for what was the Virginia Beach one? Like where did that come from? And how legit was that?
I don't know. But the one, was when we all thought it was the last game.
Mm-hmm.
The one where there were some tears shed.
Sure.
We thought they were moving to Anaheim right at that point, and I was really mad at the Maloofs.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be all for nothing. Thanks in part to our guy Carmichael Dave and a bunch of other folks, and David Stern and Aileen Voisin and all the different people who chipped in to help save the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people believe in fate, destiny, however you believe in things, but I think one of the greatest factors in all of that is to believe that the Kings should be here is, I don't know, in the history of this city going forward, if they'll ever have a sports figure as the mayor. They might.
Right.
But the one time they have is with your one professional team when they're threatening to move.
Yeah.
I mean,
and KJ,
no offense to any other mayor or any other person that could have the job that would have wanted them to stay.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's Kevin Johnson that's here at that time in that most dangerous window who had different connections than anyone else would have had. You just go, thank you that worked out.
Yeah. KJ, definitely. If Ann Rudin was our mayor there.
Should have tried.
Right.
Heather Fargo, Steinberg.
Right.
I mean, they all would have done their part to keep the team. I believe in that.
Sure.
He just had a different pull at the time.
Yeah. So that had me. How about you?
I mean, that one certainly did. And I was just trying to understand it, comprehend it, where sometimes you go, I understand, I guess, the Maloof's idea behind it. I didn't agree with it. That was the most difficult time for me, I think, on radio and working for the Kings. It was almost saying two different things where when you're on a Kings broadcast, you're really just trying to focus on the game, but the team wasn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
But you also know the people that you work for. You're like, that I did like, and then I'm not liking what they're doing, which all these things could be true. Then you're on a radio show going like, I don't get it. What are they doing? This team means everything to this community. And that was really challenging.
So is it that's kind of the same answer for you?
Gotta be.
Then that's it.
Yeah.
You ever get caught by a fake Woj tweet?
I have, but I don't know how. I don't know that I retweeted it. Or do you remember something?
No, I don't remember. But that's the one. Like there's always actually I've got one because there's a reporter in Europe that's like the Woj, but it's like
Equivalent
all
to Woj.
European
Yeah.
soccers. And I saw a tweet that Manchester City is getting Cristiano Ronaldo, and I freaked out. I'm like, God, no, I don't want this. This is so stupid. He's too old. There's no point of even grabbing him. And then one of my buddies is like, hey, that's not the real guy.
Got 9 followers. But I hate that. People are good at that. And, when they have the exact picture, the check mark. You're like,
absolutely.
And then you realize there's like 4 J's in Wojnarowski, and you're like, okay, it's not him.
Did you throw anything, Chris? Were you like, how worked up were you?
I was at work, so I couldn't get that mad, but I'm just like, and then I was told, and that was a big relief type of thing.
Yeah.
I remember another one too that I was absolutely wrong about in hindsight, but I remember the day the Kings traded Thomas Robinson. And I was just like, really? We're giving up on this guy already? Like he's just, and it turned out that was probably the right move. I mean, he never really did amount to much else after he left the Kings.
Yeah, amongst the we were just talking about this in studio last night during the Kings game, Henry and Deuce and I, about the worst lottery miss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one I came, and Bagley's a common answer.
Sure.
I mean, I get it. And really Bagley's more a reflection of what happened after Bagley.
Right.
Though he wasn't great here.
Sure.
Thomas Robinson, I mean, he didn't even make it a half a season.
Yeah.
And what makes it worse,
Lillard,
is Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
That was be him fighting to get out of Sacramento.
Exactly.
That was rough. But it's even rougher for anyone who watched Thomas Robinson in college and saw what he was. I mean, he was capable of running the floor and finishing with power and strength.
So you didn't hate the pick
rebound
at the time?
No, yeah. I was like, well, once he became available, I thought, okay, this is the guy you kind of have to, because he slipped. Yeah. And I thought, he had to be the guy. And then there were a couple of weird things early in his career. I think he crashed his Porsche Panamera after a race or something and was doing something goofy. And it was just a couple of weird signs. And then I know he did not have fans among ex-players and the coaching staff. There was an ex-player pretty noted that just said he can't play.
Right.
And then that got repeated by everybody. And it was at that point, the poor kid didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting what pushes our buttons.
Yeah, for sure.
But definitely that when the Kings were going to move, man, I was angry with Maloof brothers.
Oh, understandably. The whole city was. What's your thought on if they were ever to come back? Are they just booed? And at this point, the team stayed, but I get it. And if people are still mad at them, I understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't have strong
probably
feelings.
best for everybody.
I haven't thought about them too much since the Carl's Jr.'s commercials.
$6 burger.
Yeah,
that worked a lot of people. That didn't bother me as much. I thought it was a bad look, but I know a lot of people were not cool about that.
That, and then right after that, I saw there was a feature story on them, and it was one of the boys at their big palatial house in Las Vegas, and he's got basically servants and doesn't know their names and stuff, and it was just awkward. I was just like, okay, these are not my guys.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that rubbed me wrong, obviously, was that they stood at center court at one point and said, we're not moving the team. We're not selling the team. We're not doing this and that. And then it turned out that actually that's exactly what they were trying to do. Yeah. So, days gone by, Jason. We can look at those in the rearview mirror and be happy that we have Vivek.
And the beam.
Yeah.
The beam. All right, let's go to question 2.
Question 2.
Sacramento Munchies, name a trusted spot that may not be good for you, but you eat there anyway. I want to turn your mic on.
Did you turn mine off?
No.
I didn't touch anything. That's so weird.
We have ghosts.
Yeah. I feel like you got an answer here again for this one, because for me, I realize as I'm thinking about this, I eat at home so much. My wife, first off, is a great cook, but I eat there so much. So then I'm thinking about places that I like to go in Sacramento. And you know, when it honestly changed for us was the lockdown too. Like when that happened, then I think we even became more eating at home. When I think of places that may not be, I mean, immediately it goes to my head is like fast food, but that's not like a
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're talking about chains, there's nothing unique to there. You know what place I know that you had posted about? I don't know that it's good or bad for you that I finally went to, and it's probably been 2 or 3 years. Was
Chondo's
Tacos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
And that was going to be what I was going to say.
Oh, is
too.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have these things called the molitas, and it's
I don't know. I didn't have
so
that.
it's like 2 corn tortillas with cheese and avocado, and then some protein, some sort of meat. So you can make it a little worse than it is, but it's fried with cheese, and it's wonderful. You know what I mean? With guacamole too. Yeah, I'm all about that, and I love like. Pyology Pizza and some of the places that are open late, because I like to go out and every once in a while I'll go to Harlow's, and it'll be, after midnight or something, you want to get a slice. I love places like that are open. But, like one of my favorites from Sacramento originally was Shakey's Pizza, right? And they have them still in Los Angeles, and you can go to Oroville and get some Shakey's Pizza.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to me that Shakey started here and there's no Shakey's in Sacramento.
Anymore.
And it's like, man, that would be such a natural for G1C too.
Yeah.
Like they have the old signage. Actually,
do.
they have the neon Shakey sign in there. It's like, let's open up a Shakey's franchise inside the G1C and make it happen.
Yeah.
Or open up one, downtown somewhere.
The Shakey's Beam.
I'm spending your money, Jason. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. I liked there was a time I used to go to Willie's Burgers a decent amount. I haven't had that in a long time, but that's good.
Willie's Chili Burgers, right?
Yes. Yeah. I had there's a little extra on that one, but yeah.
Jim Denny's is reopening now. I don't know if you're hip to that. So that was a Sacramento staple, downtown fast food counter with burgers that were legendary, and it closed down for some time. And now the lady who used to run South, had some really great fried chicken and Southern cooking. She's taken over now at Jim Denny's and is reopened the place. So that's another place to check out. But
nice.
Definitely there's a few spots, J. Ross.
For sure.
You got to get out and about a little more often.
I'm so trusted with the home cooking. You're quite the cook, right? At your home?
I mess around with it. I mean, I'm not not trained or anything like that. I just know what I like. And so I mess around with it a little bit.
All right, let's get to our last one. Question number 3.
Question 3.
Sportscasters, announcers that color their hair. Thoughts?
As someone that's I've got the gray halo over here.
Paint your bald spot?
Yeah, I mean, not for me. I'm not a fan. Sometimes, and I will say this, I think some people are better at it or have better people that do their work, or it blends better with whatever the hair color is. But not my preference.
Yeah, Bob Costas, I think, is probably a decent example of someone who colors his hair that it doesn't look that bad. But then there are some where it's just so obvious that it's a really bad dark dye job. And it's like, dude, you're 70 years old. There's no way you have hair that's that dark.
Right.
There's a cat from, and I don't want to throw him totally under the bus, but let's just say there's another opposing television announcer in the NBA that's really up there in his age, but his hair's still jet black. And every time he comes through with his suit that's about the size of a Steve Harvey MC Hammer type suit with that hair, it just makes me go, dude,
it's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Aged, and it's okay that you age.
Yeah. And so I've always been on the team. Like my dad went gray pretty early, and I know I'm going to go gray early too. And I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just going to let it be.
There's still pictures at Golden One. I'm sure you've seen down like where it's very early years. There's one in the media room where he's interviewing Reggie Theus, and your dad's probably, let me see if I do the math, mid 40s, late 40s. And it looks like he's been gray for a long time.
Yeah. Like I think Jerry Reynolds was another.
I've never not known him that way. And he's obviously,
it just looks more natural, and I think it just will age with you. We can.
It happens. People that you don't age very. You're like Tom Maley just came in here and said, "Bob, will you start aging at some point?"
No, but I see it.
Yeah,
I see it. I mean, if I didn't shave, I'd have gray.
Yeah, I got mine in here.
Yeah, and I have a hat on today because I need a haircut. But my hair cutter was in Ireland, and she's coming back, so I'll be looking forward to seeing her on Friday.
There you go. With this, it's easy.
Just that's it.
Yeah, no frills.
No maintenance. How long does it take you to get ready in the morning, J. Ross?
Wash my face, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth.
Done.
Out the door.
Out the door.
Out the door.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. It used to be a bigger process. Now I trust the process.
I understand.
How about you?
No, it takes a little while if I'm gonna, style my hair and let it dry and all that. Well, not, you know what I'm saying. But like, I'm in college mode today.
Yeah,
it was
you're comfortable.
Hey, my hair's long. I'm putting on a hat.
There you go. All right. When we come back, we'll react to the ESPN Top 100 list. Who is the player that Bob Gerald said he's ranked? What? That's lunacy. We've got that next.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, buy one DeWalt 20-volt max power stack 5 amp hour battery kit. Get one select XR Bear tool up to a $249 value free. And earn 2 times MVP's bonus points on select Werner and Little Giant ladders. Lowe's knows pros. Offer valid through 10/18. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts. Valid through 10/27.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Have you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, we're all about more for less because we know you like to do stuff, to make stuff, to improve stuff. That's why everything in our stores, from miter saws to tool chests to cordless impact wrenches, is priced affordably. So get out there and drill, paint, and saw to your heart's content. We just ask that whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Okay. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
It's great having Bob Gerald in studio with us again on this Thursday. We go till 10. Coming up at 10 o'clock today, we'll have Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins. Before we wrap things up, we'll check in with them around 9:45. And celebrity birthdays today. A little crosstalk with them. But, Bob, we were talking about every kind of site. NBA.com did it. I think Bleacher Report, ESPN, CBS Sports. Everybody does this around this time of year where they rank their top 100 players. I think just as an offshoot of that, to point out to everyone the differences on the list. I saw our own Frankie Cardicelli post this, and I thought it was a good thing to kind of reference that I wanted to bring up here. But the Kings consistently got a third player in the top 10 The thing that was inconsistent about it is it wasn't the same player on all these lists. One of them had Harrison Barnes at like 96.
Top 100.
Of the
You
top
said
100.
Yeah, you said top 10.
Oh, sorry.
I gotta
Top
say
100.
the Kings had
no.
someone in the top 10.
Yeah. So Sabonis and Fox were in all of them, which
Okay,
makes sense, 100%. But the fact that there was a third player on each of these lists, let me see if I can find Frankie's post because I thought it was interesting. But Harrison Barnes was in one of them. He was 96. Kevin Herter, I think, was in CBS top 100, maybe in the 80-ish or so range. And the third player that made the list on a different one was Keegan Murray.
Okay.
So Fox and Sabonis were in every one. You figured that would be the case. I think as high as I think I saw Fox at 19 on one of the lists, and he was living in that 19 to about 28 range, and Sabonis was anywhere from right around that to about 35. So just in general, where would you, without you haven't made your top 100, but where would you roughly have Fox and Sabonis?
I think Fox and Sabonis are top 20 for sure. In my opinion, with Fox still ascending. In my opinion, again, Domas, he puts up a lot of great numbers. I need to see him shoot that 17-footer and stretch the defense a little bit more. And maybe I could rank him a little bit higher. Didn't have a great postseason. Thought Fox was great, and definitely could see him ascending. But the one that got my craw was Bam Adebayo being ranked 16th. I just think that is Looney Tunes, absolute. Like,
why?
Who? Jokic, Embiid, Anthony Davis, Sabonis. I would put all those guys ahead of him right away. I'm not sure that Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't more valuable than Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo shot .083 from 3-point range last year. He doesn't shoot the three. He's not some great assist to turnover ratio guy. He's not a great guy to run offense through. I get it that he plays some defense, like solid, but I don't think he's like some otherworldly game changer. And they have him ranked in front of like De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I think they have him ranked in front of Sabonis. To me, that's Looney Tunes, man. Like seriously, who came up with this stuff? And I get it. They make lists so that we'll talk about the ESPN Top 100 and have reactions like this. But I also just wonder, like, what planet are you really on if you're thinking that Bam Adebayo is the 16th best player in the NBA? I guarantee you, if we had a draft right now of all the NBA teams and you could start, he would not be the 16th pick.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
He's not going to be in the first round, the 16th pick.
Yeah.
There's 30 picks in the first round. I mean, to me, that's just, and there was a few of them that I,
yeah, you noted Jared Allen at 50.
I don't like that either.
Yeah.
I think that's way too high. Julius Randle, 45th, I think is way too low. People disrespect him all the time.
Multiple All-Star.
Look at his numbers from last year. I mean, he was fantastic. CJ McCollum, 44th. I think he's on the downside of that. I'd have him in the 70s somewhere. Evan Mobley, 40th, I think is more a projection of where you want Evan Mobley to be than where he really is. And Paolo Banchero, 30th. I don't see that either. I mean, certainly not based on what he did last year. He's another guy that can't shoot to save his life. He's basically he's going to end up being a center in the NBA is what's going to happen because he can't shoot. So I don't know. That this is the kind of stuff that I really get off on and get into. So I was just irritated. I just looked at it and was like, no.
Well, and I think the other part is, again, like you said it perfectly, it's lists. It's for us to debate whether we agree, disagree, and that's kind of why these are made. But I had also on the ESPN one specifically that we're talking about, I felt like they rewarded a few people. Like to me, it's weird to put Victor Wembanyama anywhere just because he hasn't played.
He hasn't done anything.
Next year, he can be 15. I mean, we'll have had a year of work. Scoot Henderson's in the top 100.
Yeah.
I mean, is he better than any of those Kings than Malik Monk? I mean, right now, I'd say no, there's no experience. Now, he might go right past him.
Sure.
So they're speculating on that. And then I felt like they punished a couple of people on this list, like that were living in that top 20 range. James Harden, I get it a little bit. Where his game has gone. Zion is a top 20 player when he's right, and he really was way down. And then Ja Morant still is incredible, and he was something like 38 or something.
Yeah, It's just really, really hard to figure. I know, like in early ESPN fantasy basketball drafts, Wembanyama's been going somewhere usually in the mid-20s, the mid to high 20s, as far as people speculating. And I think if you did have a draft of all the 30 teams in the NBA and, we were starting a team that way, Wembanyama probably is going to go a lot higher. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be one of the first picks if you were looking at it from that perspective. But I agree with you that it hasn't happened yet. By the way, I did watch that game the other night with San Antonio and OKC. It was fun. And some of the things Wembanyama did, I mean, he did 3 things in the second quarter that I probably have never seen anyone that size do, and it was just like, wow. Yeah. I mean, this guy, the potential, he's not there yet, but the potential.
And Chet too, by the way.
Oh, Chet was great.
Yeah, he was really good in that game.
Double in the first half, right? Like 21 and 10.
16 minutes or something.
Yeah. Just fantastic. So, Oklahoma City, I said this last week, I just really think people might be surprised at what they're capable of doing this year. They might be one of the 3 best teams in the West.
Wow. Here's, just as we go to break, here's the numbers I found. Harrison Barnes on ESPN's list was 96. On Bleacher Report, Keegan Murray was 92. On CBS, Kevin Huerter was 87. For those 3 lists, we had Sabonis at 35, 34, and 22. Fox was 23, 19, and 17 on those top.
So 17 was as high as they could get Fox.
Yeah. And Sabonis high was 22. So, and the one was funny because I think it was ESPN's that had Fox, at 23, Sabonis at 22, Halliburton at 21. I'm like, I think that was done on purpose.
Probably, coincidence. And then somehow you're going to tell me that Bam Adebayo is better than all those guys by 5 positions. Get out of here with that lunacy. That is garbage.
All right, we'll come back. We got more to get to as we roll along here on this Thursday on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
When it comes to investing, you want someone that has your best interests in mind, not theirs. You want independent fiduciary advice from Cap Trust. Many pro athletes use Cap Trust to handle their finances. Hundreds of local families have done the same. Contact Kelly Brothers at captrust.com.
This advertisement does not constitute a solicitation, investment advice, legal advice, or recommendation to invest in any securities. Cap Trust Financial Advisors is an investment advisor registered under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940.
Ready for a sizzling football season? Take your game day parties to the next level with Napoleon Prestige Grills from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Fire up the grill and score big with mouth-watering burgers, juicy steaks, and finger-licking wings. Napoleon Prestige Grills bring the heat and come complete with a lifetime warranty. Get your ultimate game day companion today. Visit your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply and elevate your tailgate experience with Napoleon Prestige Grills. Green Acres Nursery and Supply, your one-stop shop for grilling greatness this football season. Visit idategreenacres.com for the store near you. Game on!
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
This is Kenny and Jerry from Bell Brothers, the no surprise guys. If you're thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system, now is the perfect time to take action. It's the end of summer, which means the AC season is winding down. We've still got a warehouse full of premium, high-efficiency AC systems, and we'd rather sell them at a discount than let them just sit there over the winter. That's why we're offering this first ever end of summer discount of up to $3,500 off qualifying AC and heat pump systems.
No gimmicks, no games. Just a great price for buying now instead of later. If you got a quote elsewhere, we'd be happy to give you a second opinion.
Call Bell Brothers for details and get up to $3,500 off any qualifying AC and heat pump system. Our number is 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Dodge Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's happening with Ram Power Days?
We love American muscle, and right now is the last call on new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challenger SXTs before they're gone, with lease payments as low as $399.
What about all those Ram trucks I see?
Save thousands with 0% financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on all new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn and Laramie Crew Cabs. And we all know 0% financing is almost impossible to find in 2023.
These deals can't last long. So hurry into Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram or see our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Take 0% financing for 72 months plus $6,000 dealer discount. Offer on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 0% for 72 months equals $1,389 per thousand borrowed. Lease new 2023 Dodge Charger or Challenger SXT for $399 a month for 42 months with $49.95 due at signing plus tax, license fees, and any accessories. Offer subject to credit approval through U.S. Bank with 10,000 allowable miles per year. 25 cents per mile excess mileage charge. 5 each net savings. See dealer for details.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Waking you up with the best in local sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
That's the real thing right there.
Real deal?
That's the real deal.
Did you ever see him?
No. No. I wish. It was a little late anyway. Like, to me, James Brown, it's like, 1965 to about 1972 is the window of the good James. And once you get to Mustache James, then you're starting to lose it. Coming to America James, all that, to me, that doesn't count. That was like past his prime, like trying to make a gimmick out of him. But
and that would have been pretty young, like in that part. I wondered if, I don't even know, was he touring at the end there? Or?
I don't know. I had to double back. I mean, that's one of the great things. We talked about this last week when we talked about music. It's like a time machine. And we're all born when we're born, and we grow up, and our music is probably going to be the music we listen to from the time we turn 13 to like about the time we graduate high school. That's like everybody's little sweet spot.
Yeah.
But then you hear the musicians you respect have so much reverence for, Prince loved James Brown and Sly Stone, and so I had to double back for all those guys and all of their catalog. And once I really started to hear James Brown and listen to James Brown and just listen to the funk in James Brown, it was like, oh man, this is my dude.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, he was the blueprint for Parliament Funkadelic, for Prince, for pretty much anyone who was funky going forward.
Did you see the movie based on him?
Yes,
Chadwick
I did.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, Chadwick Boseman, man, he's talented.
Yep.
Super talented. Rest in peace for him. But that was good. I learned more about him in that.
Yeah, what a fascinating dude too,
Yeah.
right? I mean, really, really self-made and obviously had some issues. Wasn't a perfect guy by any stretch of the imagination, but just a real pioneer and a guy who did a lot of really good things. James Brown telling a generation of young black kids, I'm black and I'm proud. That was a big deal.
Of course it was.
That was, and it's hard for us to understand that because we didn't live that time. But when you look back on it, it's as important as Chuck D telling that generation to fight the power. You know what I mean? It was James. I just have complete total respect for James Brown and love him.
Yeah.
That's my dude.
That's your dude.
Yes.
We got Kings and Lakers discussion coming up in our next segment. We both kind of contributed to this rundown. This next part, you have questions for me is how this is listed. By the way, Chris just sent us both a tweet here. Oh, Taylor Swift is expected to be at the Chiefs versus Broncos game tonight.
Right on.
For TMZ Sports.
Right on.
Okay. How many shots from the television crew? Anyway.
There'll be plenty.
Yeah.
Does it bug you? It doesn't bother. It doesn't bug me.
It doesn't really bug me. Actually, and I have nothing against her. I know some of her songs, but I don't have a huge fan for her or whatever. Nothing good or bad, I would say. But I could see how it would turn some people off. It's over the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a little cult or something.
Hey, Bennett.
But she is an icon now. I mean, she's every bit as big as Michael Jackson and Prince were in our day. And I mean, she is
good for her.
She's the real deal. One of my friend's daughter just went to a concert to see Taylor.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, but somehow she ended up getting a selfie with Taylor. So she's like the star of Facebook right now because she got a selfie with Taylor Swift. Even I was like, wow, I got to react to that. Yeah. That's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah.
Because Taylor's on top of her game right now, though, right?
She is.
She seems to be standing for the correct things, which I'm always in favor of. And she seems to treat her road crew well. And
I've heard good stories about that.
Yeah, me too.
Epic stories about that.
Me too. So, more power to her. It doesn't bug me too much. Will Kelsey play though? That's
the other thing. That's the big thing we got to talk about today because he was ended up getting hurt last week, but still came back in and played. So we'll see about that for Thursday Night Football. So you have some questions for me.
So this is a segment we're gonna call "What's J. Ross's Deal?"
Okay.
All right.
What's the deal?
What's J. Ross's deal? This is a new segment that we're coming up with, and I've known Jason for I think 30 years.
Yeah.
As of this year,
pretty close. Yeah, 30.
Yeah, I think we're almost right on the dot. Yeah. Right, 1993 or so. So, but there's still things that I don't know about Jason Ross.
Okay.
And you're the Sacramento man of mystery.
Okay.
You play it pretty close to the vest, so I want to know some things. At what age did you learn to ride a bike, Jason Ross?
I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to guess around 5. I don't have a strong memory of the age, but
who taught you how to ride a bike?
It was either my mom, dad, or brother, like somewhere along the line. I remember training wheels at one point. I do remember that.
Yep.
And then they were gone, and I was gone.
One day they took the training wheels off, and
I was a bike riding phenom. I was everywhere.
Yeah. Do you think that was just a generational thing too with kids our age?
Yeah, I mean, bike. That's how I got to every level of school was riding my bike. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you already told me something that I didn't know before the show started, and that's that you're related to
Greg Nettles.
Greg Nettles. Is it Greg or Craig? It was Greg, but spelled like Craig.
Graig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Greg Nettles. So was he your favorite baseball player growing up, or was there someone else?
I mean, I had several: Tony Gwynn, Ricky Henderson, Kirby Puckett, Eric Davis, Don Mattingly was one of my all-time favorites. So I liked the Yankees with my cousin on them, and then when he left, then liked Mattingly a lot. Then Jeter, so he kind of just stayed as a Yankee fan. But yeah, I was basically wanting to be a New York Yankee, play third base like my cousin did.
All right, but now set the scene for us here. You're a young J. Ross. Where you're in Los Angeles. Where are we at?
Yeah, Los Angeles at the time. Yes,
like Los Angeles proper or somewhere on the outskirts.
We had Orange County. So my parents were separated, divorced, I should say. So my mom and stepdad, we were in Orange County, and my dad was in West LA.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in LA rooting for the Yankees.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
At the time, they're playing the Dodgers in a couple of those World Series, like 78, 79, 81. And I remember like Greg Nettles.
Chris Chambliss and those.
Yes. Yeah. Nettles had actually a really good defensive series in one of those years. Maybe it was 78. And I remember being at school and like, hey, that's my cousin's Greg Nettles. And then one of them, I don't even know if it was a friend, but someone was going, oh yeah, my dad's Steve Garvey. And it's like, which you do when you're 6, 7, or 8. But I'm like, no, he's really my cousin.
That might have been one of my cousins.
Exactly.
Yeah. Little one-upsmanship that you expect from the kids. All right, and we got that you were a Little League All-Star a little bit earlier.
Sure.
Were you on the traveling All-Stars?
You know what? Part of my this would be a life regret, I guess, in a roundabout way. Not that my baseball career was going anywhere, but I would make the All-Star team, but I didn't play in the summer because that's when I would go see my dad. So I mean, I don't regret that by any means, but it's like, I never played with the All-Star team.
Okay. Didn't get to do the traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. You went to UC Davis. How does someone from Los Angeles get to UC Davis? What made you choose UC Davis?
I got in for one.
There you go.
Was going there to play baseball at first. I mean, I was an option to. Well, I did redshirt the first year.
Okay.
And also thought about being a vet.
So were you on
Chris is laughing in there.
Were you on scholarship?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
I mean, they recruited people, and I don't even know because it was D2 at the time, and whether or not maybe they did have scholarships, but I was not.
Okay. And you wanted to be a vet. How long did that last?
I took all the other courses needed, pre-med or pre-med courses, and then my sophomore summer, I worked at a vet. And as soon as I did that in LA, I was like, nope, I don't want to be a vet.
And that was because you were around like too many sick animals, or
no? I liked the job I was doing. I was, low end of the totem pole. Would bring the pets into the office, give shots. I had to do different things, but I'm like, and I was with them, and I saw the couple different. It was like I was more like a nurse than the doctor.
Sure.
I feel like nurses are really the ones that are caring. Not entirely true,
right.
But I'm like, and maybe I could have run it differently if you ever became one. But I was like, I wasn't feeling it anymore.
Okay. All right. So that becomes Sports Gain. How'd you get started at KHTK? How'd you get here?
So right out of UC Davis, I was fortunate enough. I applied here, got an opportunity. The way the story goes in that, Mike Ramey was the boss at the time.
Yep.
Was intrigued by a couple things I did at the campus radio station at UC Davis. And, you're listening. I did play-by-play there. I did this. I was the sports director. I did advertising, selling, made commercials. I was a board op. Oh, you know how to board op? And that was the one I didn't want to do, but they needed someone to fill in for 2 weeks. And I had an opportunity to have an internship at an Orange County news channel that was unpaid. So it was like, do I do that and go back home? I just graduated, or I take this 2-week opportunity to get paid. I took the paid gig for 2 weeks, and the guy who I was filling in for went on 2 weeks vacation, never came back.
Wow.
So I got his job.
Wow.
So the board op of the fabulous sports babe, G. Gordon Liddy, and Don and Mike.
Hot Talk 1140.
Hot Talk 1140.
Hot Talk 1140. Yeah, baby. With the
and
cards.
then started working with you on Kings games and post games. And
yeah, I always remember you had the savvy in the studio. There were certain things I didn't know how to do in the studio. And so I'd be like, Jason, how do you do this?
I was making it up.
No, come on. You always knew how to do it. All right. I know we're pressed for time here. We're going to get out of this segment. What song will get you to the dance floor, Jason Ross? Is there a song? Will you dance?
I think I'm an incredible dancer in my house by myself when nobody's looking.
Yes.
I've got to get over that feeling of embarrassment out there. But I like to dance.
So is there a song that you hear it?
If there's a lot of songs. I mean, we played Blow the Whistle. If that comes out, Double Dutch Bus.
Yes, Frankie Smith.
Frankie Smith. Upbeat, honestly, and Michael Jackson. Like there's a lot of, pretty much anything can do it.
So you will dance?
Oh, yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. That's good to know.
How about you?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah, but you're the DJ.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to. I wish I was better. And maybe I'm just lack the confidence in it.
No, I hear you. I'm the same way. I went to my niece's wedding in San Diego earlier this summer, and they were playing music and doing things with family, and I was just like, I'm not dancing.
Yeah,
my wife, but my wife is great about that. Like she knows when I'm a little uncomfortable or not. She won't try to.
That's good.
She's not going to try to force me out there. I'm like, hey, go dance, have a great time.
Yeah.
I'll be out here chilling with
cousin
Ray.
And I'm not unhappy when I'm over there. I'm having a good time at the wedding.
That's great.
Oh, cousin Ray's hilarious too.
Yeah, cousin Ray's got stories.
Cousin Ray does have some good stories.
Yes.
I wish you guys could know my my cousin Ray Elias. He's a heck of a cook and a good dude.
Maybe we'll get to meet cousin Ray one time.
Yeah, I'm sure he goes to one of his faults is he's a Lakers fan. So
we're done.
I know.
We're
exactly.
Done, right. Speaking of the Lakers, we'll talk about that Kings-Lakers game and some more season outlook. Bob Geraldine with me, Jason Ross. We've got that coming up here on Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Quick Quack Car Wash.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and a fairly nice day today. Clear and cool to start your day. We will be warming, though, with daytime highs in the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees with light winds. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
There's just something about fall that makes me want to enjoy every moment. The changing leaves, the pumpkin patches, and you know what else won't last? Quick Quack's new pumpkin spice scented car wash. Text SPICE to 41284 to get 50% off any wash.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
NorCal Sportsman Show, October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown.
Bip, bop, bam, Alakazam, but only if
do it, Chris.
With the double touch, man. Put on your skates, don't forget your rope. Cause I know I'm gonna see you at my double dutch show. Rebecca, Lolita, Fashawn, and Dawn. Every time you do the double dutch, you really turn it on. Bill Zarbor, Bill Zary, Bill Zeddy, Bill Zam. Till Zombie kills Terrence. Bill Zombie, that's my man. Come on, get on my double Dutch bus. The double Dutch bus.
So is that like junior high for you right there? 81.
No, not junior high. I was still before that. But did he have anything else?
Not that I know of.
Ricky Smith?
Yeah, not that I know of.
Double Dutch Bus.
1981. It was a monster.
Yeah.
It was a monster.
Love that song.
That was a time, there was just some burgeoning hip hop, starting to happen, the electronic hip hop and all that kind of stuff. And then this song comes kind of out of left field.
Yeah.
He's kind of rapping. He's kind of singing, but
he's got that voice.
Yeah,
or whatever that is. If
talking pig Latin or whatever, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The
There
Double
was
Dutch Bus.
The Double Dutch Bus. That. And then when were they? Oh, they were using that for a while on Sunday Night Football, like Football Night in America, like when they would go to the end and they would like put the pictures on and then that was the song they'd come back. I'm like, oh, there it is. I couldn't wait for that each and every week. Yeah, good memories there. But yeah, I don't know of any other song from him.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm surprised he didn't have like one of those hip hop Halloween songs that everyone had in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't recall one from him or anything else. That was just, it's a one-hit wonder, but it's a good hit. To me. Yeah.
Yeah, The Haunted House of Rock by Houdini.
I want to say Dr. Dre had some like Frankenstein song.
Yeah.
That he doesn't want anybody to know about.
Maybe from his world-class Wrecking Crew days.
He's got enough hits that he can fall back on, which works out for him.
Yeah, even Dr. Dre has some stinkers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And, I've always wondered about this for artists, like especially if you go to shows where, they want to celebrate more of their work. And you're like, yeah, I'm kind of here for the hits, for what I know. And that's tough. Maybe they don't even love some of their best songs too.
Oh, absolutely. You hear artists talk about that all the time. Some of these legacy artists, it's like, man, how many times do you think Lionel Richie has to play Brick House or, and try to pretend like he likes it? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, but the rest of the world does.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
that's
the thing. It'd be so hard, to move on. I'm a big Prince fan, and that was always one of his things that he fought with. He's so creative and wanted to keep pushing the envelope and introducing people to new music. And he has a line in one of his songs where he says, see, we're not interested in what you already know. We're interested in what you're willing to learn. And he'd play, at concerts, a whole jazzy set and not a hint of Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette or any of that stuff. And it would still be great to me because I was a fan, but I know there are some people who bought tickets thinking they were going to get their Little Red Corvette on, and that just wasn't happening. They were in the wrong house that night.
Yeah, I remember going to it was a Golden One. It was who was it? Like Tears for Fears and Hall & Oates. And I'm like, okay, I know Hall & Oates' category. Sure. But they've been doing this for 50 years, 40 years. And usually I like to know, like from the first note, I'm like, oh, that's song X.
She's gone.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Kiss on my list. All right, got it. And then boom, the first note would hit. I'm like, and then they changed the arrangement. I'm like, oh, there we go. Okay, now I got it. I'm like, oh, well, they're probably tired of singing it, but I'm like, I know the song. We got there, but it's like, that's not how I remember it.
Yeah.
But to there, that's like, hey, I got to change it up a little bit.
It's tough. Being an artist, man, it's tough.
It's impressive what they're able to do. That's for sure.
No doubt about it. How'd we get off on this?
I don't know. We were Double Dutch Bus. Yeah. So let's redirect. Let's go. This is how it ended last night in Anaheim.
Corner three for the Kings, knocked down by Colby Jones. So we're down to the final 8 seconds of the ball game. Lakers Lewis driving, stumbling. There's the fudge. He had a notion to shoot it, then wisely pulls it out. Evan Ham saying, no. And this one is over. Donovan comes up here to embrace Mike Brown. Good friends for a long, long time in this league. Lakers win it 109 to 101 gives the final score. So an 8-point separation as the Kings are now 0-2 in the preseason.
So 0-2, no big deal there. The bigger deal to me, Bob, so far is just kind of the way the main group has played. Now, the main group will obviously play more. We'll see more minutes, more consistency, but haven't been overly impressed, I would say, right now by the Kings.
Yeah, they missed Keegan last night. I don't think there's any question about that. And yeah, I didn't think they played well. Thought the defense was really lacking, especially in that first run with the starters out there. It didn't look good. Kevin Herter, 1 of 5 from the field last night in 18 minutes. Didn't have a great night. There were a lot of things to point at. 39% from the field. That's just not going to win you very many basketball games. 15 of 50 from the 3-point line, 30%. And then they didn't even make free throws. And Colby Jones, Colby Jones probably not going to be someone in the rotation when it's all said and done. But free throw shooting was an issue for him in college. It continued in summer league. And last night he was 0 for 2 at the free throw line. Then he'll step out beyond the 3-point line and his shot looks pretty good. So sometimes those are puzzling, trying to figure out what's going on there with that. A couple other thoughts. I thought Sasha Vezenkov, he was in the starting lineup last night. Just getting our first look at him in Toronto and in Anaheim against the Lakers. A couple of things stuck out. His shoulders are narrow, and I thought he did move around a little bit more where I could buy him as a small forward. I don't know what you're thinking, but in my mind, I was just looking at the size.
Because he's about 6'9", right?
Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, classic stretch 4, type size. But when you see him out there on the floor, I don't know. There was nothing that made me think, oh, he can't play the 3. And he got switched off a couple times. Actually, was guarding some 2 guards. I don't know how that fared. But yeah, just overall as a team, they didn't look great. If you missed early in the show, we jumped right on it, talking about last night's game with the Kings and the Lakers. I was frustrated with Sabonis as far as wanting him to shoot that 17-footer or beyond when he's open, and I think there needs to be no hesitation in that. I think when it's popped up to him and they're sagging off of him by 5 feet, he needs to just face up or take 3 steps in and shoot a pusher, or do whatever you need to do there, because it's definitely a makeable shot, and it's a shot that we've seen defenses are willing to allow him to shoot.
Yeah, there was one, I know of one, if not 2 sequences where he got a quick pass, foul line with space, kind of did I'm looking at the basket, a little pump fake. There was nobody reacted to the pump fake.
Yeah.
And then he settled and then, okay, I'll shoot it.
Yeah.
And it's just like he lost the rhythm of the play. He missed the shot. Very makeable, but you're right. That's instinctual. I'm open, I'll shoot it. And I think that's what the coaching staff wants from him.
Yeah. Or he'll turn his back and look for a handoff where he can set a little hip screen or something like that. But yeah, those things have got to happen for this team to get better. De'Aaron, last night he was 2 of 5 from 3-point range. That's 40%. That'd be great if he could do that all the time. I still think when I watch De'Aaron, his misses from 3, it seems like all of them are front rim. Mm-hmm. Like when he misses, it's always front rim. And that's, to me, just focus and having that energy. Sometimes when he's so open, it's a little casual. Yeah. And you just want him to be a little more locked in, a little more focused, and give it a little more oomph into it. And maybe that'll be the difference between him being a 32% 3-point shooter to, if he could get to 34 or 35, that could be great.
Yeah. I mean, that would elevate his game. And if he's got another level, that'd be encouraging. Couple notes I made on the game last night. So again, 2 preseason games, not concerned about the record as far as performance, but it's 2 straight. You mentioned the shooting. I mean, below 40% both times. This is a historically good offense last year. Low scoring, right? They didn't get 100 yet 2 days ago, barely got there yesterday. So those would be on the concerns and the negatives, but the positive of their offense yesterday, Bob, was I think the offense was that good, but it's now in their DNA. They share the ball. They have 30 assists. Yeah. So that's a formula that obviously the shooting percentage will go up with more assists too. And while that does, those are ways to win games in the NBA, but they're still not sharp yet offensively.
And Davion, I love Davion Mitchell, love everything about his approach to the game, love his defense. But the fact is he's not an efficient offensive player, and he hasn't shown anything different than that so far in the preseason. Last night, 1 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3-point range. Did have 4 assists and no turnovers. That's great. Played great defense. That's great. But you've got to get some scoring and some output from that backup point guard position. And I personally have seen Jalen Noel do some really good things in the NBA, and I'd love to see him get a chance. Certainly think should, and I'm sorry, I like Jordan Ford. I love that he's a Sacramento story and all that kind of stuff. But Jalen Noel's a proven NBA player, and he needs to be playing.
Yeah, he didn't get a chance to play yesterday.
Didn't even get to play yesterday. So.
Yeah, I feel like this is a fair statement. I think it's a big year for Davion here. Not necessarily. I mean, he's an NBA player. It's not
absolutely.
It's not like, hey, if he has a bad year, he's cut. That's not my point. But just for the organization and decisions on him going forward, whether or not he's a king.
Yeah,
like it to me.
And I'm with you. He absolutely just has to provide some offense, and it's got to be consistent offense. It can't be one night he's there and one night he's not. That's the difference between a first round exit and a team that's going to advance in the playoffs. So you can't. The NBA is too good right now. That's watching these preseason games as I have. I'm seeing like a quickening in the NBA right now. I'm using this term where it's almost like this generation, there's something special about it. I don't know if it's who they've been watching or the fact that analytics have played more of a part of what's a good shot, what's a bad shot. I don't know, but I just see an advancement of, we've got guys like Wembanyama, who we've never seen before, Chet Holmgren, who we've never seen before. We've just the pace that they play at, the Thompson twins. This could be one of the best rookie classes in a long time. I mean, when I watched Asor Thompson the other day for Detroit, I was like, wow, this guy can really, and defensively too, he can do some things. So I like what I see from a lot of these young players around the league. And you just can't be stagnant. You've got to, you have to keep moving forward and improving and getting better. And you can't have Kevin Huerter go 1 for 5 and Davion Mitchell go 1 for 7 and expect to win games. Not on a night when the Lakers are playing as well as the Lakers were playing. And the Lakers weren't even playing with their real
guys.
Team.
Yeah. And by the way, I mean, I know we're more concerned with the Kings. The Lakers got dramatically better since the trade deadline last year.
100%.
Their roster is deeper. It makes more sense. I mean, it was patchwork before. And now you go, I get it. I mean, you can see now plug in LeBron and AD, even Reeves and Vanderbilt in some mix with what we saw last night. They're going to be a problem.
Yeah, Taurean Prince and Hachimura and Gabe Vincent and Christian Wood. I mean, they'll go 8 or 9 deep, I think, without any problem. And some of those guys are still getting better. I mean, Christian Wood's always been an efficiency star. He's one of those kind of conundrums in the league because he's bounced around so much. He must be a difficult personality, or there's got to be something there. Obviously, that's a little bit goofy because he's so talented. He's always been a per minute efficiency guy, ranks really high in my hoop obsession calculation, Jason. And that's a good guy to add to their mix coming off the bench. And there's going to be games, despite Anthony Davis saying he wants to play all 82. There's going to be some games where he doesn't play, and Christian Wood's going to step in, and it might be kind of seamless.
Yeah, I think too. The other part we hopefully Kings fans realize, and I get expectations. I think that's fair. It's fair to expect more from the team, but the West, the Kings were the 3 seed, and we're all enamored with that last year. But really, you're a couple games different. You lose 2 or 3 more, and you're battling for the play-in. That's how tight it was a year ago, and it seems like it has every opportunity to be just as tight this year. I think last year, clearly the Spurs were bad, and the Rockets were bad. Those teams are better. I don't know. I don't know that I call them playoff teams, but I just think they're better. And then the whole West, maybe Portland might have some issues, but other than that. And Portland will beat teams.
Sure.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. I'll reference Tim Roy again, just because I was just talking with him on Sunday when we had our fantasy league draft. And he made the point that Houston has some adults in the room.
Yeah.
Now. You know what I mean? That's how he put it. And I thought that was a great way to put it with Fred VanVleet now taking over. Dylan Brooks,
right?
Whether or not you want to call him an adult is questionable.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did see that. Did you see the play where
Dylan the villain?
Yeah. It wasn't too horribly.
Was that Reputation?
I think so, a little bit. It wasn't too horribly blatant. I mean, I thought there's a chance that maybe his hand just kind of went in the wrong place.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he punched him in the ding-ding or something like that. But still, in case you missed it, Dylan Brooks, probably 5-6 minutes into his first
home debut
exhibition game, he gets ejected for basically giving somebody a
who's
a
Daniel
cup check.
Tice?
Gave Tice a cup check there, and apparently Tice didn't have his cup on.
Right. But I just think, understanding that, and I know the Kings know it, just how difficult this landscape will be ahead of them. So, and I know from Media Day too, the other thing they pointed out was just the importance of the 82. Like last year, again, they started 0-4 and they regrouped. They got out of that pretty quickly and got over 500. It didn't take them 20 games to do it. But imagine if they started a little bit better, what kind of launching pad that could have had for them. So I know they're going to come in feeling the importance and readiness, but look, I mean, right away, what is it? Jazz, Warriors, Lakers. I mean, the first three, it's on right away.
Yeah, and I think the Jazz will be a tougher out as well this time around. They just, another year of experience for them. Walker Kessler's a problem in the NBA for a lot of teams. I already watched a couple of Jazz preseason games, and again, he slots right in there and clogs up the paint. It's really remarkable and kind of a joke what they got, for Rudy Gobert. When you look at that haul and look at what Kessler's been able to do, basically he almost duplicates what Rudy was capable of doing, and they got all this extra stuff.
It's an unfair reference now because everyone's trying to go, well, they want to do the equivalent of the Gobert trade. Well, that was a fleecing, right? I mean, it's just nobody should get that again.
And for the record, I've watched Minnesota too, and Rudy looked good. He looks like he's really in shape and ready to go this season. And Karl Anthony Towns looked great in the game that I watched, which is, can be a really big deal for the Timberwolves. You pair him with Anthony Edwards, and Mike Conley's running the ship there now, which you would think would give him a little more stability. So, not to sound like a broken record about how tough the West is going to be, but I really do think, Phoenix, Golden State, and the Lakers are three super, super good teams. And then after that, you could throw the Kings in with the Clippers and New Orleans, Minnesota, Oklahoma City. Memphis maybe remains to be seen a little bit, but it's definitely, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. And I thought the Kings caught a lot of breaks last year they would play teams and it's like, oh, they're resting so-and-so or so-and-so's out. And more so than usual. You and I have been around enough to know that
it balances out, but it didn't feel like
last year it played in the Kings' favor.
I agree.
I don't think there's any question about it. And aside from the Sabonis injury, which we talked about how great it is that he's tough and he played through it, they stayed relatively injury bug free, which you don't always see over the course of 82.
Is there a team, like, let's use Dallas as the parallel here. So Dallas 2 years ago makes the conference finals. I thought they overachieved that year, but hey, look, they made it through and made the conference finals. Ultimately, Warriors beat them. And Dallas is probably thinking, okay, next year we make the next jump. Well, they added Kyrie at some point in the year and they went backwards, didn't even make the top 10, didn't make the play-in. That does happen. It's unfortunate. I mean, the Kings could be a team on that list, but is there a team that you kind of look at, watch out for them maybe as a, projected 3, 4, 5 team that plummets out?
If anyone thinks the Dallas Mavericks are a playoff team, I would bet against it. So I just don't see it. Didn't work last year with Kyrie and Luka. I'm not sure why in a bigger sample size, all of a sudden it's going to work now that you've added Grant Williams. Grant Williams is another one of those guys that if he's my ninth man, that's probably pretty good, but as a starter and basically a starting type big, I just don't think he's efficient enough, and definitely not like the way they've rolled out the Mavericks in their first preseason games. They were starting Omax Prosper, Grant Williams, and Derek Lively, and that's like three guys who are all offensively challenged. They wouldn't score 100 points if they had to. So I don't see it with the Mavericks. If you can find the Mavericks over under and bet on it, I would bet the under. Matter of fact, that will be my one bet this year on over unders will be Dallas going under. And I would also, you can get a little bit of an advantage. I think I'd have to look at it. It might be plus 130 or 140 on Dallas not making the playoffs. And again, that's, some things would have to happen there. You'd probably have to have Zion play a whole season because then that put New Orleans in there. You'd have to have Oklahoma City stay healthy with Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and all that kind of stuff. I know you're not quite there yet on Shai, but I really like Oklahoma City. I think they could be really good.
Well, they went 40. Like, it's not like, 5 more wins last year and they're they did get in the play-in, but that's that's a team that wasn't really that far last year.
Yeah, they really improved kind of under the radar too. I don't think a lot of people took a lot of notice, and that was without Chet Holmgren. Watching Chet the other day in his debut, and he's got a double-double in the first half.
Yeah.
He really affects the game on both ends of the floor. And I was watching him without Shea. Shea was resting Gilgeous-Alexander, but they're still, they're a really good team and an up and coming team that I think people are probably discounting a little bit too much. So
they already beat each other up last year. Denver won the West in the regular with 53 wins. That's a pretty low. Sometimes it's 58, 62. Someone gets loose for 65. They all just kind of beat each other up. In Denver, nobody really ran away with this.
Yeah, the only team that I think has a chance to put up some really big numbers like that might be Phoenix. If they could stay healthy all year. KD, is KD and looks like the KD, not the kind of hurt version that we saw towards the end of last year or in the playoffs. But I mean, between Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Nurkic, they're going to be a really good team. And whoever that fifth starter is, whether it's Josh Okogie, it probably doesn't matter. They're going to be good. It was fun to watch them, though. I watched the Suns already this year, and to see Chimezie Metu out there, doing some things. He was getting plenty of run. I don't know if he'll be part of their rotation or not, but I think he has a chance to. It's always fun when there's a bunch of new guys on a team and you're trying to figure out, who might get the minutes here, who might not. I think the Lakers will be interesting. Who's that fifth starter? I think you're looking at Russell, Reeves, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And then will it be Gabe Vincent? Will it be Taurean Prince? How's that going to shake?
I don't know that they'll do it, but watching him last night, I feel like Russell would be a good bench player and Vincent would be a good. I feel like that's more stable to me. But I get if they stick with Russell, maybe there might be some political pressure there. Maybe not, but I feel like that's what I would tinker with. But
the way Russell's playing right now, man.
But he can still play a ton. Malik Monk plays a ton. It's just what he gives you on offense. So, all right, we got more basketball coming up, including a look at the NBA's top 100, but the top 10 from ESPN. But next, 4 down territory. Get some NFL coming your way right here on Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and a fairly nice day today. Clear and cool to start your day. We will be warming, though, with daytime highs in the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees with light winds. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
The NorCal Sportsman Show is coming October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville. Get huge year-end deals on everything outdoor. hunting, fishing, camping, golf, and more. Plus free interactive family activities, live music, the Big O Tires Custom Car Show, and a real catch and release pond from Fisherman's Warehouse. Don't miss this first ever event, sponsored by Roseville Auto Mall. Get your tickets now at NorCalSportsmanShow.com. That's NorCalSportsmanShow.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings lost their second preseason game so far with a 109-101 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. Fox led the team in scoring with 18 points to go along with 5 assists and 3 rebounds. The Kings will have their first preseason game at home on Sunday when they host the Golden State Warriors. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Week 6 of the NFL kicks off tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos for Thursday Night Football. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame starting at 4:30 and kickout scheduled for 5:15 right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's great having Bob Gerald in studio with us. Check us out on our YouTube page.
I think the bumpers are funkier when I'm here.
Chris, would you agree?
Totally agree.
I think Chris looks forward to it.
A little Nile Rodgers there, a little chic, taking it back.
Good pull.
Yeah.
Interesting, Jason.
What?
Because when we were having the discussion, who's the most famous person to share a birthday with you, I said Niles Rodgers, and you said, who?
Exactly. That's your most famous person?
I would say close.
Do you know the most famous person to share your birthday?
Yes.
And that would be?
Martin Luther King Jr.
My quick answer from remembering looking at it, I think mine is Janet Jackson.
Oh, that's a good dude. Take that and run with it.
I call her Miss Jackson.
If you're nasty. Yeah, take that and run. Yeah. Definitely better than Nile Rodgers. Yeah. Nile's a legend, though. You know Nile Rodgers, like Chic.
Chic, yeah.
So you're, Daft Punk, the Get Lucky song. Mm-hmm. We're up all night to get lucky. That's Nile Rodgers. That's his groove. Is that guitar groove that you hear in all those songs? You would definitely be like, okay, I can pinpoint him. Yeah.
Yeah, like the depth of music. Like I know the songs, the beat. Like usually I can identify the title pretty quickly if I've heard the song. But when people are like, "What's your favorite album?" Like then you start because I've never consumed music that much that way, where it's like I sadly probably hear the hits and okay, keep playing, or I learn a little bit more about artists, but like, you know, this person was on the bass, this one was the drum, and like
that's my thing though. But like, you know, we all have our deficiencies, so I don't know movies. Like I always hear people reference movies and they quote movies and stuff like that, and I'm like, never saw it.
Yeah. Yep. Whatever's your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've got an opportunity to learn more about our wheelhouse here with football. We got 4 down territory. Christopher Ladd, you got an NFL-themed music. If Bob Joe can identify do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, me neither.
It's some NFL film stuff, something like that, right?
All right, so first down, Christopher Ladd, what do you got?
Who you got tonight, Chiefs or Broncos? FKC, will they cover the spread?
Yeah, because I feel like that has to be the caveat there. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Sure.
But let me double check the spread. I did look at it yesterday. I think it was it 12.5? 10.5.
That's a big number.
It's in Denver. No, excuse me, it's in Kansas City. Kansas City hasn't been blowing people out that much lately. Denver's a mess. I'm going to say Kansas City and they cover.
Kansas City and they cover. I will go Kansas City and they don't cover.
Sean Payton, yeah.
I mean, who knows, dude? I mean, I'm
with you. It's a
you.
division game. There's rivalry. There's history. There's a lot of knowledge of each team.
Wilson hasn't been that bad.
That's what I was thinking, is that he hasn't been that bad, and it seems like even though they're 1-4, maybe they've started to play a little bit better. It seems like their running game is better. Got some different guys in there running the ball. So I don't know. Everyone thought I was crazy last week when I said Chicago.
You picked the Bears. I mean, I shouldn't.
Dude,
got their one win.
That was a spank.
That was. They look great.
They smushed them. DJ Moore was
3 TDs over 200 yards.
Fantastic. Yeah. That was exciting and fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Kelsey's not going,
that's a factor.
That's a factor.
But Taylor's going to be at the game. The Taylor factor.
I mean, at this point, it might be a bad luck thing. Yeah. I mean,
well, I wonder
Kelsey was healthy before he met her.
What does Mama Kelsey think about, Taylor being there?
I wonder.
And meeting her.
I wonder if she likes her or if she's, moms.
Someone took it out.
Oh, they did? Oh, I was setting you up. Dang it. Yeah, but what were you saying?
Well, what was going to happen?
Oh, Chris had a clip from Mom. It was a really awkward moment. She was on the Today Show, and of course, the reason she's on is to talk about Taylor Swift. It looks like she does not want to talk about Taylor Swift.
Uh-huh.
They're basically going, how was it? How was she? And she's
so you got some lukewarm vibes from Mom on Taylor, huh?
It was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, her line was, it was okay, and then she kind of like rolled her eyes, but it's like, I don't know if she's now protecting because she had fun with her.
Sure.
But
moms know though, right?
Know. Yeah.
Moms. It was okay.
Yeah, that was play it again.
It was okay.
Wow.
And there was like an eye roll, and you're going, well, that's why you're on the Today Show.
If it's, I would say if she's reacting like my mom, it's okay. It's just like, geez, there's all this stuff going on, and there's like all these security around, and I don't know who's any of these people,
Okay.
and I'm trying to watch the game that my son's playing in, and I can't really pay attention.
Taylor wants to small talk and overreact at different
Taylor
points
looks like
of the game.
she's having a blast.
She did.
Yeah.
She also had a little something in her cup.
Yeah.
So that might have helped her.
It's in your cup.
Might have helped her.
All right, let's go
Enjoy
to
the show.
Second down.
Some mommy water.
The NFL is considering a fine for George Kittle and his F Dallas shirt. Is the NFL right for this?
I don't know, right is the right word, but sure. I mean, they're so protective of their league, and I don't care about it per se, but that's what the league suits generally.
Okay, so it didn't actually say the word, right?
I think it did.
Oh, it did.
I believe.
I thought it said F, and then it was a couple guesses, and then a K.
Oh no, it was full out.
It was full out.
That's what I thought. And that was under, and he lifted it up during the game to the night. I mean, I think they have to.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a judgment thing. Is it the worst thing? No.
Yeah, no.
But that's what the league kind of generally does.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
I don't know why they're mulling it. I think you just do it. Find him whatever. It's not going to be that damaging, and he'll move on.
And that word means less and less as the generations go by. It seems like people are less and less bothered by it.
Yeah.
But I still I know some people who definitely would be bothered by that.
Yeah.
And it would be, I mean, I'm sure my mom didn't think that was cool.
Right. And others, that's probably
But
every
my
other word
mom's
that they say.
80-something years old. Right.
Different
Yeah,
times. All right.
exactly.
Third down.
If Patrick Mahomes was currently the quarterback on the winless Panthers, what would Carolina's record be?
I mean, they say quarterbacks make the world of difference. I don't know how far off Carolina is, but I mean, I'm such a big fan of Mahomes. I got to believe I'll give them 2 wins, and maybe that's a stretch. 2 and 3.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Yeah, and maybe because they just don't have a lot, right? They've got Adam Thielen,
which he'd make better,
right? And I like their kicker, Eddie,
yeah,
right? Eddie Pinero or whatever his name
Pinero,
is. Yeah. But beyond that,
but your second choice was highlighting the kicker.
That says a lot. Okay, maybe just one win. Maybe just one win.
The power of Mahomes gives him 1.
Yeah,
but the kicker.
Although Mahomes, he hasn't had the greatest season so far. I mean, and he got a little happy a couple weeks ago got some happy feet and threw some really bad passes and got picked off like 2 or 3 times. And I was just like, hey, what the heck is going on? But then still, he's Mahomes.
They're 4-1, and you're like, they're going to be there at the end. Kind of like the Astros, just always get there.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Dusty.
Fourth down.
If the NFL were to ever put games consistently on another night of the week, should it be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday?
I would eliminate Wednesday because players hate Thursday games. I think the Tuesday you could make some logic on. It's like the end of the previous week. Friday, to the NFL's credit, they've kind of, for whatever reason, given just a ton of respect to high school football. They don't seem to care as much about college. I guess they don't play on Saturdays till the end of the year, but I'll pick Tuesday.
Yeah, I'd go Tuesday too. Hopefully they don't even mess with it.
it.
I would just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
I know they've got that commercial airing now. Some days there's only one game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
it's okay. That's kind of the charm of it. Like tonight, I mean, I don't think the Broncos Chiefs is the best game of the year, but it's Thursday Night Football. Check it out.
Yeah. And Tuesday is my day to look at the upcoming schedule and kind of regroup and look back at what's happened. Or at least that's something I like to do. I'm in my Cover 5 league, and I got Tuesday's the day you make your picks, right?
For the next week?
Yeah. So you gotta.
What's the Cover 5 league?
So Cover 5 league is you pick 5 games against the spread
for the next week. Yeah.
For the next week, and you get a point for every point you either are behind or ahead. You know, so it just accumulation.
And you can pick any 5. It's not.
You pick any 5.
Okay.
Any
so it's
5
like your confidence level
against the spread. Yeah.
Okay.
First 3 weeks, it was rough, rough. And now I'm starting to
settle.
Had a couple good weeks the last couple.
Learn more about the teams.
Like the Bears last week was. That was
you went with it.
Oh, that was
good
helpful.
for you.
Very
because they
helpful.
were underdog.
Yeah.
So you got that one.
That was a huge one.
Yeah. Nice. All right. When we come back, we got even a few more questions. We'll ask who's hot, who's not, and we've been talking about the NBA Top 100. Well, the final Top 10 released today. Bob and I will go through that from ESPN. That's coming your way next here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox locks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, you. The one on the couch who just told your friend you can't go out because you're busy? Ready to get real about your psoriasis? When your current treatments don't do enough to help control the inflammation beneath the skin, causing plaques and pain, stressing and scratching, it's time to stop hiding and get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I want you to want me.
Gold Country Casino Resort in Orville presents Cheap Trick Live.
Saturday, October 21st. Get your tickets now at goldcountrycasino.com. Cheap Trick, October 21st at 8 p.m.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground, they may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in Youth Arch Supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Mike Woods, PGA Director of Golf at Hagen Oaks Golf Complex, says pace of play registers as very important to most golfers, so he offers a few tips to help. When you're in a cart, drop your partner at his ball and drive to your ball. While your partner is hitting a shot, you can be getting ready for your shot, and your partner can meet you at the cart. Move to the next shot before putting your club back in the bag. That way you're putting one back and taking a new one, all in the same motion and time frame. Now line up your putt while others are already putting, so you're ready when it's your turn. And you probably don't need to mark 2-foot putts, unless of course it's a tournament or a big money match. Save writing your scores until you reach the next tee. And it's not enough to be ahead of the group behind, stay up with the group in front. It's a game. Have fun. And let everyone else have fun as well with a great pace of play. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right, Christopher Lott. Well, who or what is hot right now?
It's strange to say this, but the Dodgers.
What?
The regular season Dodgers. The past 3 seasons, they have a combined 317 wins.
That's impressive.
That is very impressive.
Yeah. Who's not?
The postseason Dodgers. They have won 317 regular season wins in the last 3 seasons and have 0 World Series appearances, which is the most wins by a team in a 3-season span that did not reach the World Series.
And they didn't have a postseason win this year at all. They years ago when they beat the Diamondbacks, famously jumped in the pool. Last night the Diamondbacks sweep them. They're everybody in the pool. Man, that's tough to get swept like that.
And everyone who hates the Dodgers, you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing a little dance.
Yeah.
One of the here's a real sidebar for you, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Got my FUBU hat on. I always love like the Dodger blue.
Okay.
Like I'm a fan of blue, the color blue.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to wear a Dodger hat, but you just can't.
Yeah.
Like
because you're not a fan of them. You just like
right,
the color.
Right.
Okay.
If you're from this area, like I think my dad would definitely give me side eye if I wore a Dodger hat, even though I want to wear a Dodger hat.
Interesting.
Just because.
How do you feel about those Giants and A's hats that have the Dodgers colors?
Oh, those are an abomination.
Yeah. I don't understand that. I mean, that's a color thing, obviously, but it's, like I'll see Yankees hats in red. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Every week I tweet, congratulations, like to the teams that are staying on brand. Like I enjoy seeing, I don't remember what the latest one was. Well, it's 49ers Cowboys. The 49ers look like the 49ers, Cowboys look like the Cowboys, not like the Denver Broncos last week who looked like the U.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was like, am I watching Miami? What, what's going on here? So, I'm a big brand. I don't like when they start mixing in the alternate color and the super duper special road uniform that has this and that on it and it's glow in the dark. And it's like, dude, just Keep it.
Yeah.
I hate the Patriots, look after they changed from the stupid old man hiking the ball or whatever it was, and now it's whatever it looks like. It looks like the Houston Texans. I can't tell them apart.
Right.
And it's like, no, stay with the way you look.
Yeah, and the NBA is doing a lot of this though now too. Like I remember the game I always reference to that was the Kings were playing the Rockets, and the Kings were in red that year. They had red, and the Rockets were wearing like a light blue. Now the Kings haven't had light blue all the time, but it's like what?
Yeah.
It should be the other way around,
Exactly.
if anything. But
Yeah.
you're confusing.
And what was the light blue for the Rockets? Do you have any idea?
It was like just an offshoot one year. Like they just had some like they've never been that. Like
Yeah.
like the Kings were never like all red. Like this doesn't
No.
make sense. The
Yeah.
gold, the maize didn't make. I mean,
it's just all about selling merch.
Absolutely.
It's 100% about selling merch. And I get it. I'm not so old and jaded that I don't understand that. I understand it, but I also think there's something to be said for just, drilling that brand into you.
Keeping the classics.
Yeah. I mean, the Raider Image Store does quite well, I'm sure, and I mean, it's the
Silver and black.
stupidest, simple logo with silver and black.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Want to get your thoughts, Bob, on the ESPN's final part of their top 100 list. We kind of talked about the lunacy of what Bam out of Bio, where he was. But here, I want to get your thought on the top 10. You've not seen this yet. Number 10, Anthony Davis.
Okay, if he's healthy, absolutely.
Number 9, and last year he was 6th. This year he's 9, LeBron James.
I might have him in the teens.
Okay.
But yeah, okay.
Number 8, last year ranked 48, so jumping 40 spots, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
So I already know that how you feel about this one. I think I'm okay with it.
At 8? Okay.
I mean, I know in like those ESPN Fantasy League drafts, he's going top 10 for sure.
Okay.
In all those. I like that he gets to the free throw line, scores points, shoots 90% at the line, 51 from the field last year. I mean, he averaged 31 points per game.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude's he's the one that most casual fans wouldn't have,
right?
I would think in the top 10. But man, he's good in my opinion.
For him.
I'm
Yeah.
all right with that.
At number 7, last year he was ranked 8, so he goes up 1 spot. And this guy's been as high as probably 1 at one point. Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Number 6, last year he was 7, so he moves up 1 spot. Jason Tatum.
All right.
Number 5, last year he was 5. Gosh, it seems like this is too low, but Steph Curry. I think I'd have him higher.
Yeah, I think I might too. I'd probably put him over the next guy if it was me. And again, what's the criteria? Is this? And we're talking about this year going forward? Are we talking about legacy?
Steph is still great. Right now.
He
He's
is
elite.
and he looks like he's in even better shape. Like to me, he looks like he added some muscle and is ready to go for the long run.
Yeah. Number 4, they have Luka Doncic. Again, incredible skill. I want some. I guess he had postseason success 2 years ago, but I want a little more from him.
Me too.
You got sausage arms and cankles.
Number 3, Joel Embiid.
Yeah, if he's the
I
only
would
thing,
maybe drop him a spot or two, maybe, but I mean, he's not out of the top 10.
the only thing I don't like about Joel is just some of his off the court stuff. But whatever.
Number 2 surprises me a little bit. He was number 2 last year. I thought he could be 1 this year, but Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't have a problem with it.
Number 1 to me.
And then number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah.
Yep. If Giannis could shoot 3-point shots, I might have that reversed. But to me, Jokic was the best player. I thought he should have been the MVP last year. Thought it was kind of one of those concession deals where it's like, we'll give it. I'm not that Embiid didn't have a great year or anything like that, but I thought Jokic was better, and then Jokic proved that in the postseason.
Yeah, it's interesting that AD went from 20 to 10. He's been injured, and I think I felt like Zion got punished for being injured. Kawhi moved to like 25. I mean, Kawhi, when he's right, can live in the top 10 still, I think.
Me too.
But AD, I don't know. It's just weird, kind of back to your what's the criteria, because some got punished, some didn't.
Yeah, and I think overall, in general, we all when we do these rankings, or maybe I'm not going to throw myself under the bus like that. A lot of people don't consider defense enough.
And
defense is literally half the game. That's one of my mantras. and they should absolutely. Right. People who are really optimistic about the Sacramento Kings a lot of times just want to gloss over the fact that the defense is not good. And
it's a factor.
It's half the gain factor. It literally is half the gain factor. And so you can score all the points you want, but you got to stop someone at some point. It seems like, last night the Lakers had no problem at all getting into the paint and scoring near the basket.
Yeah. Oh, well, we've got one final hour ahead, Bob. Excited to find out. We got a late switch. We got to change things up. Sam Amick.
Yeah.
When Sam's available, you go to Sam. He is going to join us to start this next hour. Lots of NBA discussion from Sam Amick of The Athletic. Bob and I will talk to him when we come back here on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
The NorCal Sportsman Show is coming October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville. Get huge year-end deals on everything outdoor. Hunting, fishing, camping, golf, and more. Plus free interactive family activities, live music, the Big O Tires Custom Car Show, and a real catch and release pond from Fisherman's Warehouse. Don't miss this first ever event, sponsored by Roseville Auto Mall. Get your tickets now at NorCalSportsmanShow.com. That's NorCalSportsmanShow.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Sacramento Kings lost their second preseason game so far with a 109-101 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. Fox led the team in scoring with 18 points to go along with 5 assists and 3 rebounds. The Kings will have their first preseason game at home on Sunday when they host the Golden State Warriors. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Week 6 of the NFL kicks off tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos for Thursday Night Football. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame starting at 4:30 and kickout scheduled for 5:15 right here on Sactown Sports. Reminder, all guests come to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Final hour of this Thursday show. Carmichael Dave is back with us next week. Great to have Bob Gerald here in studio hanging with us. Getting up early. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not do it.
One more hour.
Let's get up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that.
Well, we'll respect your time and your.
I'll get up at 6 instead of 3:30 just to listen.
Well, you'll get up early to talk to Sam Amick.
Absolutely.
We all love Sam Amick from The Athletic. It's NBA season is here. Sam is back with us. Sam, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Jay, always love connecting with you. Bobby Gerald on air. I love it, man. Good to hear your voice.
Right on, Sam. How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Glad to be with you guys.
Good.
Yeah, we saw you just wrote about the defending champs and trying to run it back in some sorts of their version, trying to build a dynasty. What did you learn about kind of uncovering what's going on with the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, it's funny. Last week, full disclosure, I went to Colorado not to cover the defending champions, but to chase James Harden because the Sixers had training camp in Fort Collins, Colorado. But while I was there, it only felt right to stop by Nuggets Media Day and pay a little respects to the champs. I talked to GM Calvin Booth for quite a while and honestly really enjoyed getting his kind of deep perspective on their off season, where they're coming from, where they're going. The short version is, in the summers, you guys know they took, a hit when they lost Bruce Brown to Indiana. Contractually, there was really no prayer of them holding on to Bruce, and he was so good in their title run that it seemed like the conversation about the Nuggets in the summer quickly became like, oh, they got worse and they didn't have a replacement for Bruce. So Calvin talks at length about, it's not real sexy, but honestly, it's pretty substantive about, their plan to kind of refill the cabinet through the draft. They're really high on Christian Brown, who had some good moments in the playoffs. They've got a bunch of older draft picks. Basically, their optimistic vision is that it's kind of a market inefficiency, right? Where if you can draft well with older draft picks that come in and support this core that is obviously really special, then maybe people will forget that you didn't go out and sign some high profile free agent last summer. So they fully expect to be in the mix again, but even beyond repeating was kind of interesting perspective on the idea that, hey, if we don't repeat this year, what if we get 2 out of the next 4? Like they've got a really, really long view here and really because of how great Jokic and Jamal Murray are.
Yeah, I liked Hunter Tyson in Summer League. He really looked good. I thought he was good at Clemson last year. He's one of those older rookies that you talk about. He could be a sneaky guy that could come in there and get some run. They had a Julian Strother from Gonzaga and Jalen Pickett from Penn State. Definitely fit into that mold. But what do you think about where I think their weakness is kind of at the 1-2 spot, maybe coming off the bench where you're looking at like Reggie Jackson, Justin Holiday, guys like that?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I love talking to Calvin. That was probably the one part of the conversation. And listen, if I am wrong, then I'll eat crow and he'll look like a genius. But like at one point, and it's in the story, he literally said, I could see Reggie being 6th man of the year this season. And essentially talked about how Reggie's resilient. There have been times in his past couple of years where people thought he was left for dead when he was with the Pistons. Then he came back and averaged almost 17 a game for the Clippers. So, that is, I agree, Bobby, like a real question area where, the idea of Reggie being that good, I would be pretty suspect of. I'm sure he'll be, an impact player, but, I think that's a fair thing to point out and say it's a little bit of a weakness.
Yeah. And then I guess Peyton Watson might be a guy who now steps up and finds his way somehow close to the rotation or near the rotation. Did you hear anything about Peyton Watson?
He mentioned him in passing, and I mean, Christian Brown is the number one priority.
Okay.
In fact, I think, it was basically the choice. So, for example, they looked at Torrey Craig really hard in the summer. He's 32, a vet, has been with the Nuggets before. That potentially could have been a Christian Brown replacement, right? And what I did think was so interesting about what Calvin explained was that they don't want to get on the hamster wheel of every year just going out to get the best of the worst free agents that are left at that price point, because they've got 3 max players. And so that, with the way the CBA is constructed, your options are going to be limited. So rather than go get a Torrey Craig, it was prioritize Christian Brown, to a lesser degree, prioritize guys like Peyton Watson. But it was kind of fun. Calvin's such an interesting dude, man, because he's a former King. I actually covered him for a minute when he was in Sacramento. And he's like so understated and mild-mannered, but he's got a ton of confidence. And literally at one point said, I'm telling you, man, like, I think we might have gone 5 for 5 in the draft the last 2 years. And if that's true, that'll be, a major factor in how good they are. And the last thing real quick, guys, that I loved was, he's a student of the game, and he spends a lot of time studying some of these dynasties. And he talked about the Spurs and the fact that, generally speaking, when you get your core, you got Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, he had basically admitted that drafting becomes a whole lot easier, even if it's, late in the first round, that you now know the exact type of skill set that you need to complement the core. The hard part is getting that core. And obviously the Nuggets have it. And he feels like his job now is just to make the right picks along the way and stay where they are.
Sam Amick from The Athletic joining us. Sam, you said your intention was to go out there and figure out a little bit more about James Harden. What is the latest with him in Philadelphia and his future?
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, honestly, it was one of the more memorable road trips. Admittedly, it didn't really get reflected in the coverage. Maybe it will down the road, but like, I go to Fort Collins. It was a little surreal. You're kind of looking around. It's a city I'd never been to. And first day of practice, I asked Nick Nurse really directly, like, Nick, I just got to know, like, why are you here? Why am I here? Why are we in Fort Collins? And the answer was pretty interesting, and not necessarily James Harden related. And I'll get to your question, Jay. Apologies, I'm giving the long answer, but like, it's almost Joel Embiid related. So he wanted his team to train in elevation. He wanted his team to be near the Denver Nuggets to remind them that they did not win the title last year, and the Nuggets did. I don't know if you guys saw, he also, by the way, took his team to go out dinner with Deion Sanders in Boulder on this trip. And there's video of this. Deion Sanders, with a room full of Sixers, literally looks at Joel Embiid and says, man, there's too many NBA stars in this league these days who don't want the smoke and who keep ducking the big matchups. That was obviously a Jokic Embiid comment. Embiid has not played in Denver since 2019. Wow. So Nick Nurse is like trying to get his team going, but meanwhile, the James Harden saga is a massive distraction. I think they're managing it pretty well, but it's still a distraction. He is playing ball right now with the organization with the hopes that the Clippers can finally get a trade over the finish line. They are scouring the league, basically trying to get more draft capital because Daryl Morey, the Sixers president of basketball ops, has a threshold and a very hard request for a trade, that he would be willing to agree to, that the Clippers just haven't been able to meet. So it's still a waiting game, and James, has, I think, decided for now anyway to not go off the reservation, so to speak, because he thinks it would only make things worse. Now, I'll say he hasn't played in the first 2 preseason games. They played Monday at Brooklyn. That'll be the next time that we see, is he going to get on the floor. Now, Embiid hasn't been playing either, so that's the kind of out for the Sixers, is that it's not just a James thing. But it's still a prickly, uncomfortable dynamic between James and the Sixers for sure.
Yeah, that's wild. From him saying he'll never play for Daryl Morey, and then then showing up at camp even though he misses the media day. It just always seems like there's something with James Harden that makes it a little bit of a circus. So what do you think the Clippers, would there be any players involved in a deal like that? I mean, who would the Sixers actually want off of that Clippers roster that's worth a darn?
Oh, it's a big salary, $35 million. But the one player of note, and that really truly is the only one that matters and is part of the discussions, is Terrence Mann.
Okay.
But not necessarily, and this is the hard part of pro sports, right? Like not as a player, like really as an asset, so to speak, which I always hate calling players that. So the Sixers plan either in a 3-team scenario or maybe a separate trade if they got something done. If the Clippers eventually put Terrence Mann in the deal, would be to flip Terrence for another first-round pick. Now, either the Clippers can do that separately, give that pick to the Sixers, whatever the machinations are.
Mm-hmm.
The Sixers want, they want more picks, and they don't want the picks that are tied to the Clippers because they have a pretty strong belief that the way Steve Ballmer, the Clippers owner, is wired, like he's not ever going to let the Clippers be bad.
Yep.
And so as a result, those picks are not really all that valuable. So the Terrence Mann thing is a key factor in the discussions, because then if the Clippers got something done and the Sixers got what they wanted, I don't know who Philly would go after, but the plan from there for sure would be then you take all that stuff that you got and you go find a James Harden replacement.
Gotcha.
And you turn that into a high-level player.
Yeah, I'd say you're going to have to give me a bunch of picks. I want Brandon Boston. I want KJ Martin. I mean, I don't even know how many other young guys there are in that team because the Clippers are just so veteran-laden. So, yeah, Terrence Mann,
right.
Some of those guys to throw in there. Always interesting with James Harden.
Yes.
It's an adventure.
Yeah. Sam, I don't know if you have anything currently. You always kind of have your eyes and ears on the Kings. So far, Bob and I have talked about their preseason, kind of uninspiring at the moment, but not too much into that. Anything you're keeping your eye on regarding the Sacramento Kings?
Yeah, I mean, I just read kind of the latest comments from Mike Brown from last night. The Sasha Vezenkov situation or subplot or storyline, whatever you want to call it, is interesting. You know what I mean? Like, you've got this guy that celebrated and so accomplished overseas and such a big life decision to choose to come over here in the organization, as you guys know, spent a lot of time and resources to go, connect with him as a person and paint the picture of what, he could bring to the program. So he makes this big jump later in his career. He's 27, 28, whatever he is. He's not a young guy. And then it's kind of another reminder, like, listen, the NBA is the NBA. Like they clearly didn't make him any promises. Mike Brown said last night that part of their discussion was with Sasha, like you're going to have to earn it. So, to see it go from some of the excitement / hype of the off season towards Sasha to the, kind of cold glass of water in the face training camp experience where Mike says he's not sure he's in the rotation and really still is saying that, even after starting him last night. That's probably front and center. And it's funny, Bobby had great perspective earlier. I was listening about defense and the fact that it's half the game and Kings fans might be a little guilty of glossing over it. And it's very true. And, I knew going into camp that Mike Brown had concerns about Sasha's defense. And the tough thing about Sasha is that as talented and fantastic a player as he seems to be, if you're looking at the whole entire operation, his skill set is adding something or bringing something that the Kings already had in abundance, which is scoring and shooting. Now you can never have too much, but in terms of where they were weak last year, that didn't do much to shore up, what kind of who they were. And so that's what makes it interesting, because once you add the Trey Lyles and the Davions and the JaVale McGee's and the rotation starts getting, pretty short, I could see this being a pain point for a while. Between Sasha and the Kings, and I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, I think right now probably Chris Duarte and Sasha seem like they're in a competition for maybe who's the 10th man, on this roster. And it will be interesting to see how it shakes out. I'm sure Duarte has some people that enjoy, or that really remember him in college and what he was able to do. And I thought he was much better as a rookie than he was, last year, where he obviously took a step back with the Pacers. So it will be interesting to see. And, Terrence Davis is gone, but he was kind of a wild card for the Kings. I mean, he came in and gave him some good minutes on some different nights. And I just wonder if Duarte, will be able to have that kind of an impact on the team or not. And I certainly understand what you're saying there about Sasha kind of duplicating what the Kings are already good at. I mean, Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, all these guys are kind of all the same type of player.
I mean, and this is not Sasha's kind of, preference or priority, but I mean, his presence, I think about a guy like Kevin Huerter, who had a tough first round or playoff performance against the Warriors. You talk about motivating a guy like Kevin to make sure that you perform well enough to hold on to your spot. Having a guy like Sasha around is going to do that for you, and all the way down the line. Harrison, Keegan, Sasha can play three spots. The Duarte point is an interesting one because I had heard that Mike was big on Chris coming in, that he liked what he potentially would bring, and then last night, again, reading his comments, like I did in the B, it was like he's highlighting Chris's defense right out the gate, saying that people felt him, and you can't really blame Mike. I mean, Mike's trying to take this thing to the next level, and again, to Bobby's point, it really did get glossed over. The defense was really strong or solid in the playoffs, but it was atrocious for most of the regular season. So if they're going to be a better team, they've just got to get better on that end.
Yeah, and I think some of that in the playoffs was because outside of Looney, the Warriors just aren't a big team. Like I thought the Warriors play small, an awful lot last year. So yeah, I don't know. It's always an adventure though, right, Sam? I mean, in Sacramento, it's I just hope the fans will be all right if, instead of fighting for the third spot or the fourth spot, it's more like fighting for a play-in spot or something like that, which, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but I think
it's possible.
I think it's very possible, especially when you consider New Orleans and Oklahoma City and the jumps that they may take, given that Chet Holmgren's now a part of the mix in Oklahoma City and given that Zion is healthy, that remains to be seen if he can stay healthy for the whole season, but he's a game changer for the Pelicans. Last year, they had the best record in the league when he went out.
100%. And I mean, the disclaimer I'll give to maybe, let's see, Bob, you're worse than me. I feel like I always get on these airways and give Kings fans, the stuff to cry about. But like the reality is for most fan bases in the Western Conference, what you just said also applies. You've got to be ready to be top 3, top 4, or you got to be ready to be fighting for the play-in. Like that really is true for, maybe half the teams in the West. You like Portland, Houston, I'm looking at it here. Okay, not expecting a ton in terms of top tier play from those teams. The Jazz are talented, but maybe in that tier a bit. The Spurs are going to be fun with Wemby, but there's not that many teams that aren't going to be looking at like 3 through 10. It's just the truth. And so it is kind of what the NBA wanted, right? Not to go too macro, but my goodness, you talk about the regular season mattering again, between the parity in the West, the player participation policy, the awards incentives where you got to play 65 5+ games to get an award. We are going to have, I think for sure, a higher level of competition in the regular season.
All right, I know we're up against it here. Before we get you out of here, Sam, I was saying that it seems to me watching some of the preseason that there's almost like a quickening going on in the NBA with talent and the way some of these kids are playing and performing in the preseason. I've been super impressed with, obviously, Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Asar Thompson looked great the other night. Cam Whitmore for the Rockets looked fantastic the other night. Have you had a chance to see some of these rookies, and what do you think about this rookie class potentially being one of the best we've ever seen?
I haven't, admittedly. I need to get on it. I mean, I saw, I was at Wembanyama's debut in Vegas. That was obviously little faded, didn't go very well. He's been much, much better since. I was kicking myself the other night because I didn't. It's almost like you gotta wake up to the fact that it's not just watching the elite teams anymore. That you do have elite talent with some of these quote unquote lower level teams. Although, like you said, OKC is going to be dangerous. But I mean, I love it that Holmgren Wembanyama matchup. They had history where they went against each other in international play, and it has been like the two guys for a long time. So you kind of saw that game and thought to yourself, like, man, that could be the type of thing that we got to tune in for the next 20 years. Like, that's pretty fantastic. And, the idea that the league has it on the front end like that with the young guys and the back end with the LeBrons and the Stephs and the Durant and players of that nature, it's a pretty good time in the association right now.
Absolutely. I love it. I'm fired. I can't wait for the seasons to start. I'm already going crazy watching so much basketball.
I know you're watching everything.
I love it.
Sam, as you go, what are you working on next? What's the next thing we can expect from you at the Athletic?
I'm actually LA bound tomorrow. Kind of a surprise trip that admittedly was the gravitational pull of Giannis and Damian Lillard being together. They play the Lakers on Sunday. And that kind of speaks to what we just hit on, is like, I can't even keep up with this stuff right now. Like, I was gonna hang in town. I was gonna go to Kings Warriors on Sunday, and then I'm looking at the calendar and the schedule, and it's like, man, I'm not gonna see Milwaukee doesn't come back to Northern California or come to Northern California until like mid-March. So,
wow.
Like, no offense to the Milwaukee folks, I typically don't go that far during the regular season. So I'm gonna see them this weekend. It's Lakers Warriors Friday. And I know it's preseason, but that'll be fun to see a little rematch of the playoff matchup they had. So doing the LA thing for a couple days, and then I assume that I'll see you gentlemen next Thursday at Kings Jazz would be the next thing on the calendar.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sam, we look forward to that. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to talking to you again next week.
You got it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day,
Sam.
All right. He is dialed in. I mean, that's cool. And
he's great.
And I love just even, you love basketball so much, and just like when he can get to talk to a guy like Calvin Booth, who now has a ring, a title, and then just even perspective. I mean, sometimes you go, all right, I like what he's thinking about. Hey, look, if we don't win this year, but we might win 2 or 4. Like, okay, great perspective there. But then you get the sprinkling of, Reggie Jackson's got a chance to be 6th man of the year. I think that's crazy talk.
Me too. I did.
But I mean,
I would do a spit take.
Yeah, I want my GM to say that about me as a player, but
Right.
also like when you're talking to a reporter, I'm like, I don't know how. I mean, best of luck, but I don't know how that happens. I don't think it happens.
Yeah, I don't think it happens either. Not Justin Holiday and Reggie Jackson as your 1-2 off the bench, like Christian Braun. But
when you got Jokic, you got a chance.
Yeah, you do, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that Hunter Tyson kid, no one's heard of him at all, but I'm telling you, he can really shoot, and he's got size out on the wing. Has a potential to have like a Joe Ingles, type career, but you're getting a brand new version of one. You know what I mean? Right, fresh off the lot, not somebody who's, past his expiration date by 3 years.
Yeah. And the other part that Sam said, I think Kings, and this isn't, this is for Nuggets fans. Who was the 2 seed? Memphis, Kings, Phoenix, whatever. I think he's right on the West, where it's a really fragile point. Like, just things lined up well for the Kings. I think they probably peaked at the 3 seed last year. Now they could go higher this year, but things would have to go right. But they could also still have a pretty good year and be fighting for 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I think Utah should think that way. What if things all fell into place for the Jazz? Wow, where did the Jazz come from? They're the 4 seed. It is possible. I just think
absolutely.
I think if you put a tier of maybe Houston, San Antonio, and Portland as the largest hill to climb, but I would say from the Jazz, T-Wolves, Lakers, Kings, Warriors, Clippers, I mean, the rest of the group, if your year falls in line, you're the 1 seed. If not, you're fighting for that other group. Like you said earlier, the Pelicans, they were the 1 seed. By the end, they were scrapping and clawing. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think San Antonio, Houston, and who was the other one? Portland. You mentioned. I think those are the 3 that you would call easy outs. And then again, just because I'm so outspoken and vocal about it, I'm throwing the Dallas Mavericks in that mix too with those guys. I just don't believe in what Dallas is doing at all.
Yeah.
And I'm already on the record. I'm not wishing for this. All right. I don't wish for bad things to happen, but I think they're so far gone off the goofy end that I think Jason Kidd will ultimately it'll cost him his job. So again, this is just Bob Stradamus here.
Yeah,
just saying this, but
things like that do happen.
It does, especially after you go Western Conference Finals, miss the playoffs. If they start out rough this year, and they're gonna start out rough, and they can't score worth a darn if they are throwing out Omax, Grant Williams, and Derek Lively, that's just not gonna get it done.
Yeah, and then you don't really move the players, you move the coaches.
Right.
It's just the reality of the sport.
That's exactly what'll happen. Then they'll probably change the starting lineup or do whatever, and maybe put a Band-Aid on it. But even if they put a Band-Aid on it, I don't see a lot of help really from their bench guys to they're messing around with. I love Rashawn, but Rashawn's probably a backup at this stage of his life. Dwight Powell's, we've seen what he can do. Maxi Kleber, it's not like someone's coming there to save the day.
Sure. And then it's the other part, the reality of every team is injuries. Do you stay healthy? Who gets injured?
Right.
You could have games missed and you go, all right, no offense, but it's player 7, player 10, player 14, where let's do it for the Kings. If Fox or Sabonis get hurt, that is significant.
If Fox
they are deeper than they've been, but they'll be in trouble.
If Fox went down, the Kings are a lottery team.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, but that's what I would really think, because now you're asking Davion to come in and do his thing. But we don't want to even consider that. Nope. Fox is going to be healthy. He's going to be great. Team's going to get better just by being around each other. Jordy and Mike Brown are going to coach them up.
Yeah, coach them up.
I'm a Kings fan.
Well, yeah, I think we all are. Want to see them do well. Last year was fun. I mean, it's more enjoyable. They play a fun style. But let's get some work on that defense, guys.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about whether Sasha plays or doesn't play. Or I think he should be in the rotation somehow.
I think he'll be there.
Yeah, me too. But
he'll find a spot.
But regardless, they did just fine last year with me thinking Malik Monk was better than Kevin Huerter. And I mean, even if it was slightly, they still did fine.
A lot of games, right?
A lot of them. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, break time for us again. Thank you to Sam Amick. And by the way, if you ever miss anything that we ever do on any of our shows, go back to Sactown Sports at sactownsports.com. Every show gets podcasted after its completion. So great stuff with Sam Amick. Hopefully you had a chance to hear that over the last couple of segments there. We break, we come back, still more to get to, including Let's Go Streaking, what to watch, a lot to check out tonight. Bob and I are back with more after this on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and a fairly nice day today. Clear and cool to start your day. We will be warming, though, with daytime highs in the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees with light winds. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
One of the reasons people buy new cars is because of the warranty. They don't want to have to worry about things breaking and the fear of unexpected repair costs. But did you know Elk Grove Kia has one of the longest warranties around at 20 years or 200,000 miles? No other Kia dealer offers that. You would have to be a real to buy from anyone other than Elk Grove Kia. And if you're worried about financing, don't. Elk Grove Kia believes in second, third, and sometimes fourth chances because Elk Grove Kia's management team has over 100 years of combined automotive experience. We know how to say yes a lot more than the others do. Collections, past due bills, repos, bankruptcies. Your job is your credit. So where others fail to get you into your new ride, we can get you qualified. Let Elk Grove Kia show you why we're out to be the #1 Kia dealer in California. So when you're ready for some peace of mind and a friendly face, come visit us, Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Elk Grove Kia.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You've probably heard the word, but do you know what a stimp meter is and how it works? Invented by Edward Stimpson in the 1930s, a stimp meter is a device used to measure the speed of putting surfaces. His version was made of wood and was simply a chute on which a golf ball would roll onto the green. Roderick Easdale writes in Golf Magazine, today's stimp meters are made of aluminum. They're 36 inches long and have a V-shaped chute down which the ball can roll. It has 2 notches on which the ball rests. After a flat area of the green is selected, a golf ball is placed in the notch and the end is slowly lifted until the ball rolls down the chute and across the green. The average of 3 distances becomes one of the measurements. The process is repeated in the opposite direction, and the measure of both directions is added and divided by 2. That figure in feet is the stimp meter reading. Most courses average 9 or 10 on stimp meter, which is neither too fast or too slow, just right for most recreational players. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
NorCal Sportsman Show, October 14th and 15th at the grounds in Roseville.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings lost their second preseason game so far with a 109-101 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. Fox led the team in scoring with 18 points to go along with 5 assists and 3 rebounds. The Kings will have their first preseason game at home on Sunday when they host the Golden State Warriors. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Week 6 of the NFL kicks off tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Denver Broncos for Thursday Night Football. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame starting at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:15 right here on Sactown Sports. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing? We're streaking!
Or are we? That is the big question. How do we do in our playoff Major League Baseball hitting streak? We pick a player a day. If you get a hit, you got a streak. You move on to the next day. You just can't pick that player again. Carmichael Dave still at 0. He hasn't submitted an entry this week. Last week, Bob, you played. It was a day where there was no playoff games that we kind of picked for the weekend. And you gave us Matt Olson in the game that he played. That you picked him, he got you a hit.
Yeah.
So you're at 1 going for 2 today. You just can't pick Matt Olson.
Okay.
Chris Berlaud was at 1, and by design, he said he has been picking Mookie Betts. He likes Mookie Betts, but Chris has been the cooler. But he wanted the Dodgers eliminated yesterday, and he had got a hit. Chris didn't pick Mookie Betts the day he got a hit, but he's like, I'm picking Mookie on purpose.
The only hit he had in the series. The time I didn't pick him.
Yes,
wow.
Exactly. So he's like, I'm picking him on purpose today. I know I can get a hitting streak to 2, and Mookie obviously can get 5 hits in a game, but I'm doing this because I want the Dodgers out. Chris felt he was the cooler. Well, the Dodgers got 7 hits. They scored 2 runs. Mookie got up 4 times, and Chris was dead on. 0 for 4.
Wow.
His streak is over, but Chris is celebrating that. Yeah. He's happy about this.
Chris is I'm learning more about Chris as we go.
Yes. I have made it to 5 here in the playoffs.
Yeah, go
Show
J-Ross.
record is 11 by Carmichael Dave in the regular season. I picked yesterday Ronald Acuna Jr. Atlanta had 10 hits, only 2 runs. I just needed a hit. He had 5 plate appearances, 2 hits.
There you go.
I'm at 6. Putting some pressure on Dave here.
That's a respectable job.
Yeah. So 6 for me, 0 for Chris. You are at 1. Bob, why don't you go first today? Only one game to choose from. It is Atlanta and Philadelphia. You can pick anybody but Matt Olson.
All right, I'll take Acuna.
Acuna Jr. That guy can hit.
Ronald Acuna Jr.
Chris, no Mookie Betts anymore. What do you do?
Well, we want to see this go game 5, right?
Okay.
So I have to pick a Philly. I'll take Bryce Harper.
I mean, he did hit 2 home runs yesterday. Are you afraid that the bats, or you just think it's still hot?
I think he's probably going to go over.
That's what you're doing on purpose to
Yeah,
get into game 5. I see what you're doing there.
He's the foil.
Yes.
Chris is a foil.
He hates the streak. He wants teams to lose. I see how he's doing this.
Contrarian.
Yes. I am going to take from the Atlanta Braves, Marcell Ozuna.
Okay.
Hopefully that gets me to number 7. We'll see. There we go. As far as
I wish I had something to add.
I don't have much to add either. Just kind of closing my eyes and picking a player.
All right.
We'll see if that works. A couple things to watch certainly tonight. Braves and Phillies. We got primetime TV on Amazon with the Broncos and Chiefs. Bob, you'll probably be checking out OKC and Detroit in preseason hoops.
Absolutely. Chet Holmgren versus Asar Thompson.
You put down here Portland and Phoenix. Scoot Henderson.
His first game against NBA competition. So, yeah, they played a Euro team, or they played the New Zealand Breakers. They waxed them.
Is Maccabi Haifa on anybody's list this year?
You know what? I'm not sure. The classic Maccabi Haifa games coming to Arco, right?
Yeah, and Golden One. In fact, I mean, I don't.
Oh, that's all right. Golden One.
They were technically the first game at Golden One.
Yeah,
that didn't feel right.
No.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about the regular season, but like the first basketball game was Maccabi Haifa.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Kind of wanted to open up Golden One a different way, but that's okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, I definitely want to check out Scoot Henderson against Phoenix tonight. His first game against NBA competition. That's on NBA TV a little bit later on tonight. So I'll be flipping around. I'll watch Broncos and Chiefs. I got the Prime TV.
Yeah, I said that my only I don't even know if it's regret with Amazon. It's a little bit of a work to get there, and I like the being able to move around.
Do you have a smart TV, like one of the newfangled?
I mean,
like the kids have.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do, I guess, but I mean, what is there another way to like?
It's just because it's really not that hard.
Okay,
like,
maybe I'm doing something incorrectly.
Well, I like on my smart TV, it's like one button, and then there's a lower screen with all my apps.
Yeah,
and I just click on Amazon, and it says who's watching me.
Yeah,
and I click on that, and then it comes up.
Yeah,
and I click on that.
I mean, again,
and then
it's
I'm
not
good. So it's maybe 4 clicks.
Yeah. But it's
first
not
world problems for Jason Ross.
100%. Because I mean, like if it was ESPN, ABC, and
you could just go
TBS,
one
it's
click,
like boom, boom, boom. You're just bouncing around.
Right.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world. Before we get to our final segment, I know you had done some data here that I do want to check in on, because a question that's put out there a decent amount of times is the NBA players prime. Like, oh well, Harrison Barnes. Oh, now he's approaching 30. It's just people kind of get weirded out about age. So you have some numbers here on what age is defined as an NBA player's prime. What do you got?
So again, this is we're talking mostly about scoring averages, so it's a really kind of a general type thing. But I'm naturally curious, and I love to dig into the numbers. So let's start with Michael Jordan. Michael averaged 30 or more between the ages of 23 and 29. So that's a pretty big window, and that's an exceptional guy.
The greatest, right?
All right. And we'll just throw out some examples here for you so we can kind of get a feel for it. Kobe Bryant at age 27, that really stuck out as his best year, 35.4 points per game. That's a career high at the age of 27. Jerry West had his career high scoring at age 27. Chris Webber, career high scoring, age 27. So I think we're starting to see a little bit of a trend there. Reggie Miller was a little younger, at age 24. Ray Allen, one of the guys who defied time a little bit. He was 31 before he reached his best year. Allen Iverson was 30. Mitch Richmond was 31 during his best year. 1996-97, The Rock averaged 25.9 for your Sacramento Kings.
And if he had a smaller shoe, he had a few more. All those long twos that
all
Mitch
those
made.
long twos,
Yeah.
foot on the line,
Yeah.
foot on the line. Dr. J, age 29 in the NBA. He actually averaged more in the ABA, but that was the ABA. And It was different. There was a lot of free-for-all and not a lot of defense. Steph Curry averaged 32 points at 32 years old. That was his best. So the oldest in that range is 32. The youngest, if you want to, talk about MJ, 23. Well, that's obviously too much of a window, 23 to 32. But I think we can kind of see that 27, 28, somewhere in there seems to be a pretty fair number for guys, averaging their most
years.
points. What do you think about any of that? Is that something? Is that nothing?
Well, I think it's something. The one, I don't know how to factor this in, and I was trying to do it quickly on some of those players through my mind. Like Weber played 2 years of college. Kobe didn't play any college. I don't know, but I think Jerry West played 4. That's my guess. But I'm still trying to factor that in. Is that Jordan was 2 or 3 years of college, I think.
Yeah.
So is that a factor in moving the scale at all? I mean, Iverson was a couple years. He didn't play all 4, but they're all kind of spread out a little bit in still that sweet spot of like 26 to 28, I guess.
Yeah. And so now as it relates to the Kings, Domas Sabonis is 27 years old. Okay. So he should be right there. De'Aaron Fox is 25 and is going to turn 26 during the season. So he should be right there. That's kind of the point of it. It's just to say that we're looking at these guys in the prime of their careers right now. De'Aaron and Domas, 2 good guys to have as the main guys on your team. And then you've got the guys, I think with sports medicine, the way things are going and the way today's NBA athlete is in so much better shape than even 10 years ago. I mean, it's amazing to see the shape that some of these guys are in and how lean they are and limber and all the things that they can do. And you get a guy like Steph now who's well into his 30s, but had his best year, at the age of 32. I think we're starting to see the players extending their careers and extending their primes a little bit.
Yeah, I think if we do the entirety of the preseason roster, there's only 5 players on the Kings roster currently north of 27. And some, Deontay Burton, no offense to him, but I mean, he's 29.
Okay.
I don't know how much of a factor, if any, he'll be with this squad this year. We mentioned Harrison Barnes. He's now 31. Alex Len is 30. JaVale McGee, 35, but also has kept himself in incredible shape. And then Sasha is 28. So
so he should be right in that window with Domas and Fox. So he makes sense, as far as the timeline of this team is concerned. I just think it's always kind of an interesting subject because there definitely is an arc and you can see it. I think, James Harden is now 33 or 34, and I think we all can see that he's on the downward trend. And we saw it with Kobe. We saw it with some really good players. We definitely saw it with Ground MJ when he was on the Washington. Was it still the Bullets or the Wizards?
I think they're Wizards, but he's got 20 a game in his final year, which is crazy.
Yeah, and he could barely even, get off the floor at that point. It really was crazy. So
all the time.
Yes, undefeated still, even though LeBron's giving him a good run.
For sure. All right, we got our final segment. We got a little crosstalk with Chris and Alan. They'll be coming in your way, coming in here next. We've got that and celebrity birthdays. That's straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep, switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Start the clap. Yeah, we're back. Dave is back with us next week. Great to have Bob Gerald in studio today. Coming up next, we're going to have Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins. What's up, guys?
Yes, sir.
Hello. You guys ready to go?
Oh, yeah. Ready to rock and roll.
What's coming up on the show today?
Tons of stuff.
Tons.
Where I think we're going to go pretty heavy Kings.
Okay.
Obviously, that
Makes
they played
sense.
last night. We can't completely avoid the Niners, too. I was just reading an article about Mike Sando had on The Athletic about Brock Purdy. We're going to talk about that, some things that Brock still needs to prove. And, there's not a lot that he needs to prove, but just still a couple unanswered questions about Brock Purdy so far.
Cool. Did you see that Brock Purdy is now the 4th highest choice for MVP of the National Football League?
I've seen some where he's number one. I mean,
It's
him
crazy.
and Mahomes are neck and neck right now.
Wow.
It's insane.
I mean, why wouldn't he be, though?
Yeah, he's checking every box, right? He's doing it.
When they do that, what is it, that exercise where it's just player A, player B without who it is? He'd be right there, right? The blank resume thing.
And then you just figure out who it is.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question that Bob asked me earlier in the show, so we get to know more about you two. Bob asked me what song would get me on the dance floor. So we're at a wedding. Song hits. What gets you, Alan? What gets you, Chris?
Man.
On the floor.
It's a great question. It's a fantastic. What was your answer?
I went with Double Dutch Bus.
What?
Chris. You don't know that song? Do you guys know this? Chris, do you have that?
And
when you hear
we're
it,
playing Generation Gap.
Exactly. That's why I think this is a good game to play with you.
Right.
Here we go. Chris.
It's got the right, right there.
Yeah, I've definitely heard this.
You've heard it. Okay. Have you heard this?
No, I've never heard this.
How old are you, Chris?
28.
Okay, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Well,
That's what I'm talking about with music, right? It's like
it's of
if
your
someone played
time.
me James Brown or Sly Stone when I was 28, I wouldn't get it, but I had to double back for it.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys will.
You have to remember this, Bob. Chris famously said, "I don't like music."
Oh no!
I don't think I said I don't like it. Did I? Did I exactly say that? I just said,
sorry. You said I'm not really a music person.
I said I'm not a music
He actually
guy.
said that last week when I was on.
Is that right?
I just don't. I like
That's like saying I'm not really a food person.
I don't eat.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, yeah.
So is
definitely.
there an artist, a song, anybody?
Well, I had to talk to some people because I saw a little bit of disrespect when it came to Usher doing the Super Bowl. And I thought it was a great pick.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying that would have been a great pick 5-10 years ago. I'm thinking Super Bowl, the performers, aren't they kind of in the middle of their career, like towards the end, right? A lot of them, they don't do it right smack dab in the middle. I know Bruno Mars is a little interesting, but he doesn't put out music a lot, so it's a little confusing. I thought Usher was a great pick, and Usher would be my guy. I did an Usher performance in about second grade.
Oh, wow.
So, Usher, any Usher song would get me on the dance.
See, so like, because I heard the criticism too. It's like he only has That and
is
it's like that's
completely
not
false.
true.
Further
Yeah,
down. Come
you
on
don't
now.
have to call.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly,
God. I mean,
exactly.
you gotta love that.
The whole Confessions album, 8701.
Make me wanna.
That is
Right.
disrespectful to Usher, but people are gonna learn.
Right.
People are gonna learn because I wouldn't go to the Vegas residency that he's doing, but I've heard it's really entertaining,
Sure.
right? So people are gonna learn because that guy's a performer, and that's what it's about for the Super Bowl. You
But
gotta
if you
perform,
happen
so.
if you happen to be in Vegas at the time,
I will
you
go.
take a look.
Yeah.
Like,
How much are tickets?
Yeah.
Would
You know
say-
they're a grip though.
Yeah,
You know those
exactly.
tickets are a grip. They always are.
Would you say, Usher, let me show you my second grade performance? Would you go out- Can you still do
There
it?
you go.
You remember the steps?
It was, I think, You Make Me Wanna,
Okay.
which was, probably a little inappropriate for
Inappropriate,
her age,
right,
but
for sure.
my mom was okay with it, so
Yeah.
I did it. And I actually asked her when the Super Bowl thing came out. I said, "Do we have footage of that anywhere?" And she said, "I might be able to find it."
Oh, let's
So,
do it.
you know,
Make it
might
go
be able
viral.
to fire it up for you.
Let's
Oh,
make
my it
go viral.
All right.
Waiting
Anybody
for
still
February.
come to mind or no?
Not any particular song, but Usher's a great one. I mean, that's going to work 90% of the time. I'm going to say Drake. I got to say Drake. If you
Wow.
put some certain Drake songs or, those will do it. Those will do it for sure.
Well,
Drake
now
has
we will.
Dance like what's a dancey Drake song? Help me out.
Great question. Probably One Dance. Let's see here. That's a really good question.
That
actually.
whole More Life mixtape was his dance hall
A little bit,
phase,
yeah.
so
Okay.
that tape. But Chris, now
Yeah.
teaser for our show, we will be talking a little bit about Drake's album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you? Well, first of all, did you listen?
I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's
I'm
all.
like
And did you hear what
85%.
Okay.
you hear what
okay.
Joe Budden had to say
I
about?
did.
yes.
I
Okay.
very much
Oh,
agree.
yes.
I
Okay.
very, very much agree.
All right. Now we're over Jason.
Come on,
saying-
generation
Yeah.
gap over
Yeah,
here.
hey.
Come on, Jason.
Double Dutch
Keep
bus.
up. Yeah.
Frankie Smith.
Right.
I guess I'm right in the. I got everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Fire that up.
Drake's gonna remake this. I
Oh,
heard. Yeah.
1,000%. 1,000.
Today, guys, is National Gumbo Day. Gumbo is served the most
Ooh.
different way. I know you like gumbo. I'm a
Oh,
huge
yes.
fan of gumbo.
Me too.
But I think that's the one that varies the most.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
gumbo fans at all?
Oh yeah, my mom makes it every New Year's.
Okay, that's good. That's a good tradition.
I've not had gumbo because I'm allergic to shrimp, and I know you can vary.
I am too, so I
you
have it
can-
without
You can have
seafood.
some variation, but
Yeah.
every household I've been in, they
usually
don't
throw that
make
in
me
there.
a special
And I'm
gumbo.
like, hey,
and it's always like, oh darn.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
you can't have it.
Can you just pick it out? And I'm like, it does. That's not how allergies
Right.
work.
Right.
Let's close things out here, guys, with celebrity birthdays.
Man, I might have to make gumbo today.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything at 10 o'clock.
Would
Because
gumbo
it
be
takes a little
considered a like cold weather food?
Yes.
Like it's a soup?
Yes,
Really?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it fits in that category?
But also, how many places are serving gumbo? You got to find a soul food restaurant.
Oh, I'm making it.
Oh,
yeah,
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 okay.
yeah. No,
Well,
I
then-
have a recipe. Yeah, I make it.
How
Like,
long does
there
it
you
take?
go.
3-4 hours.
That's what I've
Depends.
heard.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you want to do it right.
Right.
So
Yeah,
good
exactly.
the next day, too, after
You-
all.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you want it to.
Marinate.
Yeah.
Yes,
Lives
exactly.
together,
It's
the
got to
parts.
simmer a little bit.
Coagulate.
Let it
Right.
simmer.
Celebrity birthdays are brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than crumble cookies. I will admit it's usually have a list of about 15. We don't get to everybody. It is slim pickings on October 12th.
All right.
Can't
wait.
We'll play the game we played yesterday. I'm going to say the first name and just first name that comes to mind. So happy birthday today to Hugh
Grant.
Jackman Grant. Any other Hughes?
Hefner.
Ooh,
that's
Except for he's dead, right?
Yeah, we're kind of slim on the. We do have a correct answer. It is Hugh Jackman's birthday. How old is Hugh Jackman today?
Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I'm gonna say, yeah, that's a good
54.
one. I'll say 57.
50.
52.
Alan with the win, 55.
Yeah.
For Hugh Jackman.
I for some odd reason, I looked it up not too long ago for something he was doing. Don't look at my history. You know what I mean?
Who knows?
And
Greatest showman.
He's definitely
was a great
older
movie.
than you think because he's in such good shape.
Yes.
All right.
Happy birthday to Charlie
Sheen.
Day.
That's a good one.
Now you got me because I was going to say Murphy. I can't say Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
So.
And the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
It is former Heisman Trophy winner, I believe. Yeah, an NBA player, Charlie Ward.
Oh,
happy birthday to Charlie Ward,
Ward.
former Nick, former Florida State Seminole. How old is Charlie Ward today?
Say 49.
49.
47.
7.
43.
43.
45.
45. Charlie's thankful to all. Who was 49?
Me.
You. 53 for Charlie.
Wow.
Was he a better
Really?
football player or a basketball player?
I mean, he won the Heisman, but
Right.
then he didn't go.
He was Hall of pretty good in basketball.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah.
That seems pretty decent, though.
I mean, that's
somebody-
nice. I
How ridiculous would that story be if it happened today?
I know. I missed
Oh,
there was a
yeah.
time when
Like,
Dion
if
was
someone
doing both.
was-
Bo was doing both. Who was it? Brian Jordan was playing both.
Dion, yeah.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge was a
Danny
really
Ainge
good
did it
baseball
all,
player.
right? Didn't he do
Who
it
was
all?
the
Yeah.
one? Was it Dave Winfield was drafted? I think in basketball, baseball, and NFL.
Your guy Tony Gwynn was
Tony Gwynn was a basketball
Yeah.
stud. I just got to read the other names. It was thin. Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains 100 years ago.
No idea.
Marco Jaric, former NBA player.
Oh, wow.
Aaron McKee, former. I mean, I had 5.
Hey, T for W. T for W.
Okay.
There you go.
Do you know his age? Guess on Aaron McKee.
I'm going to go 57.
Okay. Yeah, we'll shoot for
I
Aaron
have
McKee.
no idea.
No idea.
51.
There you
Saw Aaron McKee play against the Kings in a preseason game at Chico State University back in the day when Bill Russell was the coach.
Wow.
That's how old I am.
We won't reveal that age. That's it for us. Bob, thank you so much. Thanks to Sam Amick. Thank you, Chris. We've got Alan and Chris coming your way next, right here on Sactown Sports. See ya.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the